Let's get nasty on a Wednesday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202, your time check. Brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Well, we're still got a day or so from college football playoffs. Got the two semifinal games, Thursday night, Friday night. Of course, we got super wild card weekend in the NFL. A couple games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and then 1 on Monday night. So a lot of football to come. We'll talk a little football throughout the course of the show today. And heavy hockey. That's what we're going to start off with. You know, we had a discussion.
Heavy hockey, playing a heavy game.
Yeah, heavy games. That's right.
We've been waiting on, right?
Yeah.
Anthony just brought it to light.
Yeah.
Let's go,
Heavy
baby.
hockey. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, the Blues are 2-0.
Okay. Overweight people
Undefeated.
play heavy hockey.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. That doesn't.
Well,
I
they don't have to be overweight.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. You're right.
Not good if you're overweight.
I mean, muscle weighs more than fat.
Could be. And sometimes, it's just you're vertically challenged. So if you were 7'2", you're the ideal weight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they always.
You know what?
The chart always says I'm like morbidly obese.
It does? Yeah. I would disagree
I think
with
that thing is out of date.
Yeah, way out of date. We got to update this. I don't know who we need to
Maybe
talk
if you
to.
were taller.
Yeah, but I mean, my weight is not. I'm not to lift weights. And Anthony just said it. Muscle weighs more than fat. So,
It sure does, yeah.
You know,
I actually realized that, too, because when I started losing a whole bunch of weight, when I was starting to go through the process, I got down to 208, 209. Then I started hitting the gym, lifting heavier. And now I'm back up to 220. So I said to myself,
What happened?
doesn't matter about the weight.
Yeah.
it's about how you feel and how you look.
That's
How
right.
you look, and it's how you feel to others, too.
Yeah. And how you treat others.
Yeah,
You know?
Carey.
Speaking of Blues,
More
and
grab, apparently.
Blues haven't done that in 2026.
No, they
Look at
haven't.
them.
No.
You're damn right. So yesterday we talked about the Blues being dead last in the NHL in multiple categories.
Well, you got to start
The
like
negative,
that.
man. We were
What the hell?
we were positive
We're
about
having a good talk.
St. Louis Blues. What are you doing here?
We mentioned the lack of shots on goals,
guy.
24.6 shots per game, which ranks
Dead last.
I forget.
dead last.
I didn't forget. It's not hard to forget.
Dead last.
That's surprising from you, Carey. Not so much from Jamie.
Where do you guys think the struggles begin for the Blues? Because you can start with an issue.
How long's the show?
It's 4 hours. You got plenty of time, man.
You got?
Plenty
Did
of
it take
time.
that long?
I don't know, man.
Because I thought it was.
Actually, it's pretty quick. I don't really know what the hell they're doing sometimes.
But okay, Jamie, I thought you brought up a really interesting point about where the struggles actually stem from when it comes to getting in front of the net.
Yeah, I mean, there's that's an aspect of it.
Right.
You know, there's each zone of the ice, the defensive zone, the neutral zone, and the offensive zone, each one of those zones has presented challenges to the Blues this season.
Sure.
Whereas when we're watching them play at the end of last season, I hate having to reference that, but that was some of the best hockey I've seen out of the Blues since the Stanley Cup run. And when we were watching them last year, their forecheck was locked in. The neutral zone was smothering opponents. The defensive zone created no real opportunities for other teams. And when they did create opportunities, the goaltending was there. And this year, it's just like there's a deficiency in each zone of the ice, and it's not every night. It takes a turn.
Makes it worse.
Because as a coaching staff, when you're trying to find answers to your problems, and Carey, in football too, if you got a weak secondary, we can focus on the secondary.
Yeah.
Weak running game, we can get some big dudes, get some blockers, get a bit of running back. You can isolate. But if every week it's something different, 1 week it's the secondary, the next week it's the offensive line, the next week it's the quarterback, it's really hard to solve the riddle.
It's like the the Flex Seal? What's that?
Flex Seal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you plug a hole, and then you realize, oh crap, there's another hole. And then
Not
there's-
with Flex Seal.
That's why you just spray the whole thing.
Sprayed that boat.
Apparently,
that boat. If you
apparently
spray it-
that's not true.
I think it is.
I
I think if you spray it in the water, even in the water, it'll stop everything.
I don't think so, Carey.
I read
the commercial said it was true.
I read
Anthony.
a thing.
I think those people used to work for Ocean Gate.
They might.
You know? Scientifically, it didn't make sense what they were doing there.
No. And I don't think, not that the guy was a big guy in the boat, the Flex Seal commercial, but that you'd have to spray an awful lot of Flex Seal Because he wasn't even like, it wasn't even like lowering, like soft at all. It was like rock hard, the boat, no problem.
Yeah. No issues.
No issues.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't real water. Maybe it was all CGI. You never know.
You know, Marsh,
You never know.
it's a good question. Good thought. I mean,
certainly
either
has-
way,
yeah.
the Flex Seal does not work in terms of like building a roster.
I think it's temporary.
yeah, it is. It's supposed to, it's meant to be temporary.
It's frustrating when there are so many holes to plug. Like my
It's
coach would
frustrating
tell
when
me,
the whole moves.
well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's different. You can't get in. You can't figure it out. How to stop this?
Yeah.
If it's constantly moving. Yeah, sit still and be in one place. But the thing my coach would tell me is, give me a different problem. You know, if you consistently have the same issues over and over again, he would say, in the real world, repeat offenders go to prison. Like if you are a repeat offender, you just continue to commit the same crime over, you're gonna go to prison, man. And if you're in the National Football League and you continue to make the same mistakes, your ass is gonna get fired.
Yeah.
You're a repeat offender. And so it might be a lot of repeat offenders. Because if I'm a coach and I have to say the same thing over and over and over again, either you ain't listening or you don't give a damn.
So I agree. The problem that I see with the Blues is that the problem is different every game.
Different every period.
Different every period. You're right. Yeah, because the second period's been an absolute disaster for the Blues this year.
And then it's the long change.
It's a long change. We've already talked about how I really am not fond of their line changes. It's one small facet of the game. Does it change the ultimate outcome? I don't know, but I know it certainly improves your chances in other areas. But I think that's the thing. It's the shell game right now for Jim Montgomery. You're following, you're trying to find the problem, but every time you pick the shell, it's the wrong shell. And so for the Blues, they really have to get locked down systematically. And it's not like a different system that they need. It's executing the current systems to the way they're supposed to be played. Mm-hmm. And so your lack of offense can start in multiple ways. Can start in lack of good transition through the neutral zone, lack of puck possession in the neutral zone, lack of puck possession in the offensive zone. It can also start in the defensive zone, where if you're not sound defensively, you're chasing the puck for 45 seconds to a minute. Then you get the puck. You can't do anything with it because you're dead tired.
Yeah.
So that kills your offense as well. Bad goaltending on certain nights. Team comes down, fires one from the wall, scores. That kills your spirit.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, crap, we're already down 2 here in the first period. We've only been able to score 2 goals a game for 10 games in a row. Like, you see what I'm saying?
The hell?
Like, it kind of, the problem just kind of keeps moving around. And that's the issue that I have watching the Blues is I wish I could say it's this, boom.
It's whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
It is. It's whack-a-mole. I mean, you think you got it, and another issue pops up. But Jamie, first of all, you're right. It's if you're losing or you're a losing team, there's no one thing. If I were to kind of paint with one broad brush in any sport, though, if you can't control a game, you can't win, or you need to be lucky to win games. If you can't seize control of the game, where your opponent is chasing you, they're the one they're constantly on tilt, then you're not going to compile wins. Will you win some games? Yeah, it could be bad puck luck, turnovers, whatever. But if you can't seize control of that game that night, and you do that consistently, you're going to lose. And I think that's one of the issues, Jamie, that if you're pointing out certain things, to me it all adds up to you're not controlling the game. And it was a big issue in 2025. I don't know about 26.
2026. Undefeated.
I would like them, and I know this is something that everyone would like to see, but just shoot the puck more when you're in the offensive zone. I've seen too many times where, they have good cycles and, they have some ozone time, but they're not really generating anything towards the net. Mm-hmm. And when they try to make that extra pass, well, then the other team's going the other way. And then what happens? Well, you're caught for, 90 seconds out on the ice, then trying to get the puck out of your defensive zone. And once you finally do get the puck out, well, then you don't have that forecheck that you're needed to get back in the ozone and create some momentum. And you talk about controlling the game. That's how you do it. Even if you shoot a puck on net and the goalie makes the stop, well, then you get a face-off.
Right.
And where are the Blues at in terms of face-off? They're not dead last. They're about middle of the pack. Last time I checked, I think they were like 13th in faceoff percentage. You win the faceoff, you keep doing that, and you create more momentum in the offensive zone, and then you start to control the game. So for me, and I know there's a lot of different aspects to this, but just my opinion, it starts with just funneling pucks towards the net.
Sure.
I have a question.
Yes, Carey.
Because you gave us kind of a rundown or a synopsis of
good word.
You like that one?
Yeah.
The mindset or the thought process of some players. Because Marshy brought up a good point, man. You win the face-off. Damn it, that's half the battle. What's the other half, Jamie? You got to
Control the puck.
Shoot the puck.
to,
Score a goal.
and if you don't,
Shoot the puck.
you're not going to,
Score a goal.
and you won't.
Win.
Okay.
Man, that was good. We didn't even rehearse
We
that.
didn't.
Yeah.
Nice job, guys.
Like we got
It's like
one
you
brain.
guys are finishing each other's
We're
sentences.
finishing each other. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What?
That's Tom Cruise.
All right.
You ever see that
Yeah.
skit?
In Top Gun?
With Ben Stiller?
Yeah, Anthony's never seen that.
I've never seen that. Well, I saw enough of it to know what the whole premise was. Yeah.
No, I mean, Marsh, you, it's wonderful if you can win the face-off, but if you don't damn shoot it, the hell, you might as well just take it back to your own end and start over.
Here's an indication of when a team is overthinking some things is go back and look forward now to the 2-on-1s the Blues get. Every time there's a 2-on-1, almost every time, they're trying to make that pass across.
But Booch did it, and he got lucky
Yeah,
a
because
couple
it
games
got
ago.
blocked. It came back to him. So then he got to shoot the puck and score. Like, if you're a team that's having trouble scoring goals on a 2-on-1, if you can make that pass beyond a shadow of a doubt, you do. Otherwise, shoot the dang puck. Shoot to score.
And hit the net.
Hit the net. Yeah,
be nice.
even on breakaways, hit the net. It's highly recommended.
Okay.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. That's Jamie Rivers. That's Carey Davis. That is Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. The NFL hiring cycle has started, and it's going to be fascinating to watch. If we take a step back, though, how do teams continue to make mistakes when it comes to the hiring process in the NFL? We'll dive into that next on 101 ESPN. Well, following the firing of John Harbaugh yesterday, there are now 7 teams that need head coaches in the NFL. Ravens, Browns, Titans, Raiders, Giants, Falcons, and Cardinals. Falcons also the only team that need a general manager as well.
The Dolphins do too, don't they?
No, they didn't fire him.
Oh, they didn't?
Or, I'm
They
sorry,
fired the GM.
They
They
fired the
didn't fire the head
GM, not the head coach. So they're the only.
Oh, yeah.
The Falcons are the only. Let me rephrase. Falcons are the only team that need both GM and head coach. Why do you think? Why do you guys think that teams continue to make mistakes? Because there's going to be a new crop next year too. There's going to be 5, 6, 7 teams that need head coaches next year too, and the cycle will repeat. Why do you guys think that hiring a head coach in the NFL has been such an issue? Or Jamie, if you want to expand to the NHL, that happens as well. It happens a lot.
It's tough, man. It's tough to say because, you got these teams that go through coaches like nothing, and you'd like to see a coach at least be able to establish some kind of culture there, an extended look, because sometimes these coaches are given terrible teams. Like any team that has been assembled under the New York Jets, has any of those head coaches really had a chance? Since
not in the last.
Since like Rex Ryan.
Yeah, Rex Ryan was the last one to. I mean, he won back-to-back. He went to back-to-back AFC title games, which with the Jets. I mean,
How long
probably
was
should
that?
be in Canton. I think it was 09, 2010.
That's a long time ago.
Absolutely.
And then every head coach since then has been handed a roster that gets them fired.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand they accept the job. Everybody thinks, I can change it, I can fix it, I got this. So for me, sometimes the head coaches are to blame too, because they go into a situation just wanting to be a head coach without actually having the right situation for themselves.
Sure.
So basically taking the money, knowing that 2 years from now or 3 years from now, they're going to be looking for another job. But as far as the hiring and the firing of these coaches, there's no rhyme or reason to it.
Mm-hmm.
The old saying of, you can't get rid of all the players, so you get rid of the coach.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of what they live and die by right now.
Carey, you obviously played in the NFL. What are your thoughts?
I think people don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, it's just like in any form of business, and that sounds crazy to be like an owner of an NFL franchise and say you don't know what you're doing. You might know what you're doing in terms of running a business, but in terms of actually understanding football, I think sometimes these people get hired because they're the hot name, right? They're the offensive coordinator guru that everybody wants. And then they get excited because they feel like, oh, this guy's going to be a spectacular head coach.
Yeah.
But that's not always the case. You have to be able to manage people. Being a head coach is not X's and O's at all. Mm-hmm. Like, you might call plays, but that's not the limitation of what you need to do. You have to be good in understanding how to manage people. And sometimes, as an offensive coordinator, you only deal with the offensive players. Sometimes, as a defensive coordinator, you only deal with the defensive players. Special teams coaches, in my opinion, should honestly get more opportunities to be head coach because they touch every single person on the team. The special teams, the specialists, the offensive players that are running down on kickoff, the defensive players, which is mostly special teams players. So they are really all-encompassing as a coach. But I just think sometimes you go after the coach and you don't know what you're getting. Or in a case like I'm dropping the name, but who was it that left Matt LaFleur and got the head coaching job and was there for 1 year? But Matt LaFleur was the head coach in OC. I can't even.
Nathaniel Hackett?
Nathaniel Hackett.
He went to Denver.
And couldn't hack it.
It was, no pun intended.
Well, that was good.
It was
Because
bad.
he's not actually calling the plays.
Now he's in New York, is he not?
He was.
He's already gone?
Yeah, that was.
Aaron Rodgers had him fired too, right?
Well, no, that was Aaron Rodgers' buddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
And
right.
then they both went down with the ship.
Okay.
So you during your process of hiring, you need to know if this person is a good people person, not a people pleaser, but being able to stand on what he stands on, being able to communicate effectively. And I don't give a damn if you can run offense or defense. I need to know, can you manage a team? Do you know when to call a timeout? Do you know when to challenge a play? Do you know when to tell your defensive coordinator, hey, we need to change this up and we need to run? Like, you need to know all of it.
Yeah.
So it's not just, I'm a great offensive coach, but I don't know squat about how to stop anybody on defense. No, I need to know both, and I need to be able to do all of these things. And if I can't, you're probably going to end up hiring the wrong person.
Yeah, so Ellipsis 150 in the Snake Pit brought up a great point about ownership. It's bad ownership. So how many coaches have been hired and fired in Vegas under Mark Davis? Ellipsis is absolutely right. My question, though, is, okay, these owners continue to make bad decisions. Mark Davis is one person, one owner. There are good owners that make bad mistakes. There are owners that care, that want to do a great job, care about the fans. They want to get it right, and they just can't. So why is that? And I think, Carey, you hit onto something that I wanted to talk about as well. I think that these owners fall in love with what they're seeing now or have seen over the last year. They fall in love with the same candidates that all the media is talking about or being pushed to talk about by candidates, agencies, and things like that. They say, well, this is the direction of the NFL. We need this guy. Can he manage people, though?
Right.
Because you're right, CD. I used to be somebody that's like, oh, you got to get the schemer. Okay. What if the scheme or system no longer really works in the NFL? I'll give you an example. Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly's offense worked brilliantly in Philadelphia for 1 year, maybe two. And then there was no plan B. His offense didn't work anymore, so they fired him. They let him go, and there's other reasons there too.
Right.
But what is your plan B? A true schemer doesn't have just one system where everybody's got to fit into one thing. A true schemer is going to say, okay, here's the team that I have right now.
Yes.
I'm going to manage this team because this is the team that's in front of me. This system works. These coaches work. Can you manage people? And I think they constantly go for the hot OC name, the hot DC name, trying to get that system to the team that they're owning as opposed to hiring the right person.
Well, and if you look at some of the best head coaches over the last 10, 15, 20 years, like, say what you want about Bill Belichick, but he did exactly what you just described. Because every couple of years he had a different type of team.
Yeah.
He didn't have the same offensive players, didn't have the same defensive players. Yet every year he maximized what he had with his team. Mike Tomlin, I think, falls into that category where his roster hasn't been great. Certainly in the last couple of years, it hasn't been what he had early on in his career, yet they keep getting back into the playoffs. They keep having winning records. Like, he's finding ways to win with what he has currently. And I think that's a huge part of being a head coach.
Yeah, and the best head coaches, they adapt, right? Like Sean McVay right now, they run a lot of 13 personnel. Whereas, did you see a lot of that in previous years? Probably not.
You didn't see that in previous games. Devontae Adams went out, and as soon as he went out, they went tight end heavy. That it's a perfect example of what we're talking about. This is what my team needs right now. I got 3 tight ends. They got Colby Parkinson. Before he got hurt, they got Terrence Ferguson. There's another, Allen, that they have. They've got 3 tight ends that can kind of, build the Devontae Adams in an aggregate, to use a Moneyball term. So you're right. What Devontae Adams goes down, how do I counter? And he's not to the same success that he had with Adams, but he did have the counterpunch.
And you can't be stubborn, right? You can't be so dead set in your ways as a head coach. Well, this is my scheme. This is what I do. No, you can't do that. You need to sort of play to the roster in itself while also implementing what you want to do when the timing is right. And I feel like the best head coaches do that. And they also, they look at the people that they bring in. It's all about that, too. Are you bringing in the right people? You talked multiple times about when the Rams were here. Did their head coaches bring in the right people to surround the head coach and to help build the head coach up?
Right.
Put the team in the best situation? No. And there's a lot of teams in the NFL right now who also don't do that.
Yeah, not to bury the body here, but Steve Spagnuolo, that was his big thing. He didn't want to bring in head coaches that will get plucked, so he wanted continuity. In theory, it made sense, right? Like, let's put some continuity.
If you're taking mediocre for continuity.
If nobody wants your guys, that's a problem. Like, if nobody is banging down the door to get your coordinators, then that's an issue. And, I think if Spags ever got a second chance to be a head coach, I don't think he would. I think he would probably do it differently. The other thing, too, that you touched upon is, bringing in the right guys. I think the other mistake that NFL teams make in hiring processes, and I've long believed that if you bring in an OC that can manage people, that calls the right plays, that knows how to coach a quarterback, it's his system. You don't have to then make 2 crucial hires. the head coach, and the OC. It all comes in one. Now, not to say that every offensive coach is a good head coach, but Ben Johnson's the latest example of if you get one right, you probably get both right.
Right.
If you hire a defensive-minded guy, no issue, unless they don't have a pulse for what makes a great offense. McDonald, when he got hired in Seattle, defensive-minded guy. It has worked out. But he hired Clint Kubiak to run his offense, and that has worked out. Brian Flores in Miami had some bad offensive coordinators. They couldn't do anything. His defense went to crap. It didn't work. Dan Quinn now has to hire the next guy to work with Jaden Daniels. It's a big move. If you don't get that right, he's going to get fired. So I think that if you bring in a defensive-minded guy, who is he bringing in to run the offense? And when that OC gets plucked, what's your next move? Can you hire the next guy? That's, I think, some of the pitfalls of hiring a defensive-minded guy.
Well, that's just, you have to have the next guy in waiting. Like, hopefully he's on your staff. And you're preparing that coach to be able to take over the role when that offensive coordinator does get a new job. And you should be hoping that he does. That means your team is playing their butts off. You're playing outstanding and you're having great success offensively. Hopefully your defense is matching that and you're winning games. And he's going to get a head coaching job at some point.
Right.
And having that person in place to take over when he leaves is the best way to go about it.
Certainly.
I also think it's important to, if you're a team, to recognize, okay, who is sort of driving this team? Is it the head coach? You know, you talked about Atlanta when they went to the Super Bowl. They had Kyle Shanahan as their offensive coordinator. That team was very good.
He was the reason why they made the Super Bowl. Make no mistake.
And you can make the argument that maybe they should have went with him, and it has nothing to do with Dan Quinn, but it's like we have the guy, the next guy, that ultimately could get us to where we want to go.
Certainly. Yeah, and they weren't going to fire Dan Quinn after making a Super Bowl run just to hire Kyle Shanahan, but they should have. I mean, honestly, Matt Ryan was an MVP, and they were never the same after that. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. That was Andrew Marsh. He's got what's trending next.
For over 45 years, Pure Performance has been outfitting the best-dressed vehicles in the St. Louis and St. Charles areas. It may not look like winter right now, a little warmer, but it will get cold again. If you notice that your vehicle isn't ready for ice and snow, Pure Performance is the best place to go for replacement tires for any vehicle. They don't just sell oversized tires for trucks or Jeeps, but they carry tires and wheels for every single make and model. So please get your car, your vehicle, whatever you're driving right now, get it over to the showroom. Located in St. Peter's, right off of Cave Springs Boulevard. They've got a 25,000 square foot facility. Walk in there, ask for Shelby or Paul. Tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They're going to take a look at your tires, make sure everything's ready to go. They're going to make sure that you're safe for if and when that snow and ice come back here in the wintertime. And while you're there, take a look at all the accessories. They literally have anything that you want for any type of vehicle that you're driving out there. They are the best in the business, and they're the only place I go for any of my accessories for my pickup truck. So please stop by that facility again, right there on Harry Truman Boulevard, or you can visit them at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues are back in action tonight, taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. We have a puck drop at 8:30, so a little later tonight, 7:30 pregame, 8:30 puck drop. We'll also talk with Joe Vitale later in the show at 5:15, so stay tuned for that. But coming up next, we have What's Trending. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, I had something I wanted to bring up, but I actually want to go back to the conversation that we were just having because we got a text message from one of our listeners that reads, "It's not that the coaches are necessarily the issue. It's just that there is absolutely zero patience for any team to turn things around and go from losing to winning or vice versa." You know, I read this and I don't think this is just a football thing. I think it's for all sports. And I think it's a thing for just people in general where like patience is so thin within our society right now. But when it does come to sports and the lack of patience for some of these coaches and culture building, does it simply come down to the money within like this particular period of time where they're so focused on the bottom dollar right now they don't see what the future could look like? Do you think that's what it is?
I think that's part of it. I think there's a lot of pressure to win right away. I also think that with the way that, and I'll just stick with football and let Jamie talk about hockey. I think with the way that football is currently set up with free agency, the fact that you get the number one overall pick if you have the worst record, the NFL doesn't necessarily want dynasties. The league isn't set up that way. So if you're somebody that you're a head coach and you're 3-4 years in, you got a losing record every single year, and you're looking around and some of these other teams can go from last to first or last to the playoffs, you're saying, well, why can't my guy do the same thing? And I don't necessarily blame the owners for moving on when they've got a fan base, i.e. stockholders, that want to see a winning product. So, is there a lack of patience? Absolutely. But I don't know if that's always the case.
Yeah, I think it's tough. You hire a coach, or any employee, you do your research, look at the resume, check all their references and whatnot, and you think you're hiring the right person for the job. Now, do you give that person all the necessary tools to be successful all the time? And what I mean by that is some of these owners or GMs hand coaches terrible rosters. I said it earlier. And expect them to create miracles within 2 or 3 years. Well, let's just use college sports like 10 years ago. Not now, because it's the Wild West now. But let's go 10 years ago. When you hired a new coach, you usually would have to give them at least his own recruiting class. So it was like it was 4 or 5 years that you'd give this guy an opportunity to build his team. We don't do that in pro sports. We expect them, you're going to build it overnight. And if you don't, we're going to find somebody else who can do it. So you're expecting someone to create miracles sometimes. Sometimes certain teams just need a switch because the coach is really not that good or doesn't know or he doesn't have the respect of the team. But most of the time, you're firing a head coach because the team is not playing well. They're losing. And it's not always the coach's fault. Sometimes the roster stinks. So I think in certain moments, there's a lack of patience. In certain moments, there's a lack of actual thought process, a lack of plan by the higher-ups. And in the last process is where the coach is just not good enough.
Yeah, I think you have to have or see progress, right? If your team has had a couple of down years, but you're seeing, and it might not be the record, but you're seeing things start to shift in that organization or that program, then you can stomach, keeping a coach around for another year or two. It's when you don't see progress. When you see, you see the talent, you know that it's there. You know that you have all of the capability of being a really good football team, and the progress is just not happening. And I think Raheem Morris is a perfect example of that. I think they had a better record this year than they did last year.
They finished 8-9 both years.
But I think that with the talent that they have, you would like to see more progress in what they're doing. They got a talented defense. They obviously have some of the best offensive players in the league, Bijan Robinson being one of them. Like, you want to see progress in how this is going. And I think Arthur Blank and that ownership group just was like, we haven't seen enough of the progress. And then, on the other end, a guy like John Harbaugh, maybe things became stagnant and you're saying, all right, well, you've been here for a long damn time.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten back to the Super Bowl. We haven't gotten, we made to the AFC Championship game, and for, I think, a Zay Flowers fumble there, unfortunately, you didn't win. But it just all weighs on the coaches and, giving them, you need to see progress in what your players are doing and see guys going forward. And if you don't, then, you got to move on from the coach, unless you're the St. Louis Blues, because they fired a few coaches already, and they ain't going. Money ain't going.
No, you got to give him. You got to give Monty his recruiting class here.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between the patience or lack thereof with a coach versus a player, right? Like I think of the Cardinals, right? There's a couple players that you could think of that we're just sort of waiting for this player to evolve. And that player may never evolve. At what point do you move on from them? Is it different?
Case-by-case basis.
Yeah,
I think that's the best way I can answer that.
We talked about it last week. Each player develops at their own pace.
Yeah,
too.
And I don't think it's either two. It's not easy to assess a player's development or a head coach's development. I think you might have a better sense of whether or not the coach is the right guy, because the owners are going to be closer to the coaches than they are the players. So you might get a better sense of how a coach is faring as opposed to a player. And let's not forget, as CD brought this up last segment, if you're an owner, doesn't mean you know what you're doing when it comes to running a football team. You may have gotten there because you were you inherited a bunch of money, or you developed your own business. You might be a business person, so you know people, but it doesn't necessarily know if you understand whether or not a guy's going to develop at linebacker or center field or right wing. So
yeah,
I think it's a little easier maybe if you're an owner to assess the coaches. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. That's what's trending. Is the transfer portal ruining college football or helping it? I think this is kind of a interesting debate, and it might be polarizing. It's next on 101 ESPN. Well, the transfer portal has certainly been a hot storyline over the last couple of days after it opened a few days ago. And CD, you posed the question, is the transfer portal ruining college football or helping it? And I think this has become kind of a polarizing topic. So where are you at on the debate?
Yes, both. I think it is. I think it's outstanding for players. I mean, let's be honest. If there's any person that's listening to us, watching us on the YouTube feed, if they're a person that is saying that if they could go into free agency essentially every single year and up their pay, that they wouldn't do it, I wouldn't believe them. Because I think we all would. If your play or your work says that you're going to get paid more money the following year, and every single year you have an opportunity to renegotiate a contract, you're probably going to do it.
Or consider it at least.
Or consider it. And in my opinion, I think it's good for these young players that for decades we didn't get a dime. Right, we got a scholarship, which was awesome. I was paid for. You got to
dime.
I didn't get a dime. I went to the University of Illinois. We went to class and we went to practice every single day. Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
It's about football.
Student athletes.
A lot of brown paper bags, I heard.
Not for me. Never heard it. Never seen it. But yeah. So for me, I think it's outstanding. And we were just talking about turning over a roster and how coaches don't get that much time. Well, now you don't have that excuse. You can turn over your roster year after year after year. You graduate a bunch of guys. You played well. You can get that. You can go out and pay for new players to come in and kind of sustain your success for the following year. Where it's bad, in my opinion, is, man, it's a lot of lost people in that transfer portal that have no chance of signing to another school that just left an opportunity. Whether you were getting paid a lot or not paid at all, you still were getting a full ride scholarship in most instances. Not all, because the lower levels don't all get full scholarships. But you're leaving a situation where you have a scholarship and now you're in the transfer portal with no home. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's good and bad. Like, it's good because it turns over and kids are getting paid and coaches really have. If Indiana can be playing in the Final Four of the college football playoff, no one, and I mean no one, has an excuse for them not being able to get to that level, because now it's essentially a free-for-all. Mm-hmm. But then again, like I said, the bad part is year after year, there are kids in the transfer portal, and it's hard to sustain some success in some places because your roster is changing every single year.
So I think what you said there, Carey, is all accurate. But I think that from a player standpoint and a coaching standpoint and a program standpoint, it's all a disaster right now. It just is. And I'll elaborate on that. Is you talk about, you just say, hey, there's no excuse. Year after year, go get your players. True. But the flip side of that, year after year, you're losing players. They're leaving your program. So you have no consistency. The head coach can't build a program because he don't even know who's going to be on his team. Like the one in Iowa, they got 12 or 13 players left.
Iowa State.
Iowa State. Like, how can that guy build a program? He's going to have to recruit, get a transfer portal. And I'll say this about the transfer portal, about the players. If you're a mid to lower player, keep your scholarship and go to school. Because the odds of you taking an NFL snap anytime soon is probably pretty slim.
You have to know that. You have to be self-aware, though.
I agree.
And most of us...
What I'm saying is don't just enter the transfer portal and say, damn, coach is screwing me over.
Yeah. But here's the other flip side to that. Sometimes it's not just the kid entering the transfer portal. Sometimes he's being persuaded to enter the transfer portal. Hey, you're not gonna play here. You that portal just opened. You should probably, go take a look, see what you
you know what? Okay,
what you
coach,
can get elsewhere.
But you're going to pay that scholarship
if you stay. But if you're not playing, then that's they can't take your scholarship. They can, but they can't. It's a year after year renewable scholarship, and unless you're just a jerk and a complete idiot, not going to class, off campus, off the field doing reckless things, then they probably, generally speaking, renew your renewable
But
scholarship.
if I'm being told by a program, if this program's not Alabama, it's not Penn State, it's not. If I'm being told by, I don't even know, some lower level or mid-tier program that you should enter the transfer portal, I should probably be self-aware enough to know that the NFL's not calling anytime soon.
Right.
You would hope that was the case.
You would
But
hope.
Again, it's not always the conversation that is had amongst 18 to 22-year-olds is
everybody believes the next guy.
You know, at 18 to 22, I thought I could damn near walk through walls. I didn't have any fear of anything.
Yeah.
But as an adult, I'm like, God, I can't do that. My body hurts.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Is the transfer portal ruining college football or helping it? That's what we're discussing here in the
I think it's
Fast
doing
Lane
both,
101
like
ESPN.
Carey said.
Well, it depends on what, and for me, I'm with you guys. It depends on what we're talking about. So, for example, the Georgia and Ole Miss matchup. At the very least, the transfer portal has leveled the playing field around college football. And that game was a perfect example of it. Georgia in years past, I think, would have been able to pile on points throughout that game and win and get to the semifinals. Because the transfer portal now exists, a program like Georgia, and there's others that exist too, it's not just Georgia, I'm just using them as an example, you no longer can hoard top recruits.
Alabama.
Exactly, as second and third stringers.
Yeah.
Your injured linebacker, cornerback goes down in that game against Ole Miss. Why don't you go ahead and give me the 4-star recruit from 2 years ago, and he's going to start now.
Yep.
That guy is now jumping
Starting
into
somewhere
and
else.
he's starting someplace else.
Yeah.
So the depth has been impacted at the top level. So again, the if you're just talking about like from an entertainment standpoint, it's hard to argue that we're not getting the better of what we had before. But from a personal standpoint, like Jamie, you broke down from a student athlete to student athlete standpoint, there's a lot of ground. There's a lot of gaps where it's like, hey, you could be a stud and you can just hop around and make a bunch of money, or you could be somebody that thinks you're going to
and you're stuck in the transfer portal forever.
and you can't get out.
I think there are over 4,000. Last I checked, there are over 4,000 Division I kids, FBS kids, and total, I think there are over 8,000 kids in all of all levels. Probably over 10,000 now. I mean, it's unfortunate because a lot of these young men don't have, they don't have a clue. Like they think that the grass is greener, or I can just jump in, or I'm forced in, whatever the case may be. But you need to have a plan in place to know where you're going. And again, I think it has changed the landscape of college football. Alabama is no longer the Alabama that we know because of what you just said. The 4-star, 5-star, second and third stringers, the depth of that's what makes teams good. It's not just everybody has good starters, but when your starter gets banged up or gets injured or something happens and they're unable to go at full capacity, the next player is just as good. That's when you have that depth, that's when you have good teams. And now, like you said, Anthony, the depth at some of these programs is tested because why the hell would I sit behind this future, first rounder when I can go be a first rounder and start somewhere else right now?
Yeah.
I don't have to wait. I don't have to have patience.
Paying somebody in NIL money is a big proponent here, but the transfer portal affects, I think, the depth of some of these big programs like we're discussing.
I just look at it as it is a very dangerous business right now, college football, with the transfer portal. I've screamed this from the top of the hill that I think each and every single player should be allowed one transfer throughout their college eligible years. If your coach gets fired, you automatically qualify for a transfer because that's the head coach that's the head coach that you believed in, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And if you don't like that head coach, then you have your one transfer. Otherwise, man, when kids are just leapfrogging from program to program to program, like at some point, I like the parity that we're seeing in college football right now. But as a coach, Carey, you were a coach, the continuity of trying to build something is just not there.
My question to you is who's going to vote on that and who's going to approve it?
I'm not saying it's possible.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying it's my suggestion.
Yeah, I mean, I think the genie is out of the bottle. It ain't going back in.
The only way they can do something is they have to. I don't even know if they can't mandate that there's a union. But at some point, what's going to happen is some of the players who aren't getting paid, who aren't making that money, who are getting screwed over by having hope. Like next year, I'm going to start, and then 4-star recruit comes from Alabama over and I'm not starting.
Yeah.
It's the guys that are in the muddy middle and lower that if they want to try and start a union, and I know it sounds crazy, but that's the only way some of them are going to get fair treatment. Now,
Northwestern tried to start a union years ago.
Who did?
Northwestern. Some of the players at Northwestern, if I'm not mistaken, they tried to start a union.
Yeah, but millions of dollars are at stake now.
It was, and if the NCAA had any foresight to be able to see what
They would have let it. Yeah.
they would have said, you know what, that ain't a bad idea.
Now, I don't know if it can happen now. I
It's
don't.
probably not gonna
I don't know. But they've got to figure out some kind of guidelines for this because players are getting screwed over, like I just gave that example. Good players aren't getting the opportunity to play because the transfer portal is bringing over stud players and taking your job. Coaches aren't. Not all coaches are able to produce winning programs year after year after year anymore because players are moving. NIL money. And the big dogs in the yard, the top 20 teams or whatever, top 50, they're still going to be the big dogs in the yard because they're getting the most financial support. So it's tough. It's tough right now.
Tom Brady talked about this on a podcast the other day that I saw. I can't remember which one it was, but he talked about this specific topic and how the competition. There's no competition for these players anymore. They don't want to stay in a program and try and win their job.
Right.
So
No, it's way easier to just leave.
It's easier to leave, and so as you get older, that affects you as a young person. That mindset is no longer there to try and win the job.
You're describing society right now.
Exactly.
Yes, you are. Absolutely.
That's exactly it. If it's too hard, I'm not going to do it.
Exactly.
I'll go do something else because that job or that guy doesn't know what he's doing, so I'll do this over here.
It's not.
Listen,
It's not
I've got
good.
20-something-year-old kids. I'm going through it. I'm going through one of my own children right now where every job he's got, he knows more than the guy who's running the place, doesn't like it, jumps to the next job. Wow, that's no good. That's not a good fit. How about you just dig in, kid?
Yeah.
You know? I want to smack him a little bit.
What
you
do you-
know which one it is.
I do. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. I got to make sure I read this question right because it could come off the wrong way. What leads you to believe that the Blues could begin to climb in the standings? Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Hold on.
You read that completely wrong.
Yep, my bad. Hey, what leads you to believe that the Blues could begin to climb in the standings?
That's better. That's a
next
ring
on
to it.
101 ESPN.
Can I interest you in a really ice-cold, refreshing Zwickle Light? Yeah, I thought you'd like that. I love it. Zwickle Light from Urban Chestnut is out there. It's available at your local watering holes, at the stores, dirt cheap. All the big box stores have got it here. And it's a St. Louis beer brewed by St. Louisans. Why is that important? Because I believe here in St. Louis that people in St. Louis know what good beer is, and Urban Chestnut certainly knows what good beer is. Zwickle Light, again, locally brewed. It's a light lager. It's crisp, clean, refreshing. Only 95 calories, so you don't get that bloated belly. I know I had a few too many one night. They're really good, though, really good. Only 3.7 carbs, and it is the unofficial beer of St. Louis hockey. You're going to love it. There's cans, and now there's bottles available. Let me tell you, those bottles, a little bucket of ice, nice and cold, nothing tastes better. You're going to want another one and another one just like I did. So please get out there, check out Zwickle Light, or get on to urbanchestnut.com to see what else is going on over there. And remember to keep it light and keep it local.
For your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Appreciate everybody listening to the Fast Lane. So Jim Montgomery was on with us on Monday. He'll also join us, I believe, tomorrow, Jamie? He's going to be joining us
back on tomorrow. He loves us so much, he said he wanted to do twice a week.
You know what? I don't blame him, man. I really don't.
At least this week.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So Monty was on with us on Monday, and he discussed what he's liked about the last two games, both being, of course, wins.
I'll start with the Vegas game. I like the way we transitioned at both ends of the ice. I thought we were above Vegas. I thought we made it hard for them, who's a real good team off the rush, to get good looks. We only gave up 2 odd man rushes, and we had 7-4. And I like the way that we were able to pull out the win down the stretch after they had tied it up in the third. And then conversely, the next night, we're playing a team that hadn't played the night before or the day before like we had. And we started the game off pretty good, and I just like the way we managed the game. Like, we didn't beat ourselves. We made them have to come and go through us. Our goaltending both nights was fantastic. And then in the third, I really liked the way with a 2-0 lead that we maintained that 2-0 lead. And our goaltender had to be good at times, but he didn't have to save the day the entire period.
So we asked the question, what leads you to believe that the Blues could begin to climb in the standings? So what are some of the things that, if we want to spin this in a positive way, leads you to believe that maybe the Blues can start to climb up a little bit?
Well, you always build a team from the net out. And Joel Hofer has been really good recently. And Jordan Binnington looks like he's starting to heat up as well. So if you have both of these guys, I don't care who you put as your number 1 or number 2 right now. Right now, Joel Hofer's numbers and the way the eye test would say he's probably the better goalie.
Sure.
But watching Binnington play the other day against Montreal, he looked pretty damn good too. Right. So, yeah, if you're looking for reasons or things that could lead to your team, rising up in the standings, these 2 goalies could certainly be the starting point of that. I think your defensive core still has work to do. Colton Parayko still doesn't have a goal in 43 games, which is crazy to believe. He had, 16 last year, I believe. So that's a big drop-off. You're going to need some more offense from him. You're going to need more offense from the likes of Cam Fowler as well. You're going to need Logan Mailloux and Tyler Tucker to continue to develop and get better. Philip Broberg only has 13 points in 43 games. I think Philip Broberg should be on a power play consistently, not just every so often. I think that he's got great offensive instincts, and he likes to shoot the puck.
Sure.
So I also believe that when healthy, this is a much different team. And you look at today, Nathan Walker comes back. Well, he's not. Well, what does that do? Well, what it does is it locks down your fourth line with that identity. And Monty also said the other day we talked to him, he's like, the fourth line's had a really tough time being the identity because we haven't had healthy bodies all year. He talked about the fourth line last year starting games in playoffs, because he had the ability to do that with the 3 guys. He hasn't been able to do that this year. And then Holloway coming back, him healthy adds a little more offensive punch. So there's reasons to believe that things can get better.
Sure.
Now it's still up to the team, the players, to do it.
Right. And we're not trying to put lipstick on a pig. We're just
I'm not at all.
Just like, hey, if there are any sort of glimpses of hopes and what this thing turning around, what are those things?
Well, and another thing to look at too is this roster, when everyone is healthy, of course, is a lot deeper. You add Holloway in there. You keep Berggren in the lineup. That guy's been playing really well for you. Stenberg, does he stay in the lineup? Like, all of a sudden you have really healthy competition for prime spots in the lineup, not just the fourth line. Robbie Fabry, where does he fit in? Like, you've got some guys now when everybody's healthy that you've created this depth chart that should make your team better.
What about for you, Carey? What are some things that would lead you to believe that the Blues could turn things around?
Well, they got, as crazy as it sounds, they still got time. my only concern, one of my concerns is, we talked about it the other day. Yeah, they've played more games than most of the teams in the Western Conference. That's an issue when teams have that many games in hand behind you and are either ahead of you in points or almost even with you in points. That can be a bit of a concern. But I think if you decide to be more aggressive and shoot the puck, like if you have Jamie talked about the 2-on-1 situations, and it does feel like they're always trying to be too perfect, or there are times where you can be too unselfish, right? Sometimes the best play is, I'm going to shoot it, and because that's the best play.
Sure.
The best play is not always the additional pass it, pass it back. No, man. Get a shot on sometimes. Yep. So I think finding a way to be a little bit more selfish in that regard, like I'm going to be the one that's going to shoot it. If I make it, cool. If I don't, there's a rebound right there waiting. Get to the front of the net, big fella, and put it in. Somebody has to be willing to do that, though, more consistently in order for this team to have success.
What about you, Marsh?
I think for me, if they can just win tonight, I feel like the 3-game win streak has sort of eluded this team.
Well, yeah, it hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't happened yet. And I really do think if they can sort of get that monkey off their back, it's sort of a psychological thing. But if they can win tonight, just keep building. You have a game against Utah coming up as well after the Chicago Blackhawks game. And I know we're going to get to it later, but there are some tough games coming up. But if you can find your game within these next 2 games, maybe you roll into a somewhat of a tough stretch playing some of your best hockey of the year. I do believe that this is all psychological, because last year I remember Robert Thomas, saying like, we're doing the right things. We're not getting the results that we want right now. But they stuck to it and they started winning games. So I think that if they're starting to see some of the things that Jim Montgomery pointed out in the audio piece that we just played, those things, they continue to do those things, ultimately, like, they will find the results that they want. And I think if they can get past the Blackhawks tonight, they've struggled against teams on like the national scale. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if they've won a game when they've been on TNT, but if they can do that, I think psychologically they start to feel better. I feel like this team is just, they're not the most talented team compared to other teams around the league, but I do think confidence is a huge thing with this group. So if they can just get past that sort of wall with this 3-game win streak that, again, has eluded them all season, I do think that they could start to find their game and start compiling wins.
Metallica.
No.
Damn it, man.
Closer clue. TNT.
Oh, dynamite.
It's not. It's not as
terrible.
far off as
not
you've
bad.
been. It's not bad. Yeah. Yeah. It's not Rod Stewart.
It's not.
What was this? What?
The
TNT.
Leonard Skinner.
Oh, TNT. Yeah.
Damn it, man.
TNT. I'm enjoying the fight.
I have no clue.
It's another very popular. You would know this band.
Very popular, older.
Yeah, not too old, but
White band.
AC/DC.
Yeah.
Hey, look at me.
Nice job. Well done. Did you look at the text line or something?
Nope.
Nice.
It's not on there. Not on there.
Shady
Way
over
to
there.
go.
Not on there.
Well
Loves this
done.
150 in the snake pit. Just also.
Yeah.
Way to go, Carey. Way to go.
Yes.
Carey's gonna name that song today.
Thank you.
More likely to happen. NFL edition. We'll do that next on 101 ESPN. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We've got More Likely to Happen, and we have an NFL edition of More Likely to Happen. And the concept is in the title, right? What's more likely to happen? It's easy, Jamie. It's easy.
I still can't think of that one segment.
Very
that threw me
easy,
for a
Jamie.
loop.
I know. We'll think of it someday. All right, Marsh.
It's terrible.
Fire away.
All right. More likely to happen. Josh Allen goes on a Superman-like run and the Bills win the Super Bowl, or they lose in the wild card to the Jags.
I think they're more likely to lose to the Jags than the Bills going on a run. I mean,
I thought you were going to go the opposite direction on this.
Well, that's several games that you have to bank on, right?
Yeah, but you think they're going to lose to the Jags?
I don't know. I'm starting to grab my flippy floppies on this one because Monday and Tuesday I'm like, man, Jacksonville's a better team. This, that, and the other thing. More I think about it, though.
You talked yourself out of it, eh?
Can I give you a stat here?
Stats
Of course you can.
This is from SDQL Guru.
Oh, yeah.
On
Okay.
X. They do a bunch of numbers and stuff.
The goo is what they call it.
Yeah. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 0-19 straight up in games that feature totals above 49.
Holy smokes. 0-19?
0-19.
How is that possible?
You just did it for you, huh?
Sold.
Yep.
Bills.
If they beat the Jags, then they would probably be taking on,
Patriots.
well, yeah, the Patriots. That's a
No,
conference.
it would be the Broncos.
No, I'm looking
No.
at the bracket right now.
Oh, yeah.
It depends on.
Oh, I
it
guess it does
changes.
because they reseeded.
Unless the Chargers.
You know what, Marshy?
Unless the Chargers win, then the Patriots
would be
out.
Yeah.
It would be the Broncos.
Yeah, the Chargers, the only way the Bills can't face the Broncos is if the Chargers beat the Patriots. So it is likely to be the Broncos. Which I think they can win up there. Here's where I'm kind of leaning right now with this game, this Jaguars-Bills game. I think Jacksonville will take away James Cook. So what happens when you take away James Cook?
You got all those receivers.
It's all Josh Allen. Like, he's got to be Superman, which we've seen before.
Yeah.
We've also seen him implode.
We've also seen the Bills completely implode. Yeah. Which is where I originally went to on Monday and yesterday.
Who do you trust more as a coach? Because that's going to be a factor here, too. Is it Duval or the
I
other
think
guy?
he's done a good job. I
He's
think
done an
Liam Cohen
amazing
has done a
job.
really good job
He
for a
has.
first-year head coach.
This is also his first playoff game as a head coach. Now, he does have experience as a coordinator in the playoffs with the Bucs. I think I got to go with I'm not a big Sean McDermott fan.
But Sean McDermott, what has he really done?
Nothing.
Like, he's had a really good team for a long time, but they've never done anything.
No, sir. Well, he hasn't had a quarterback.
What? It's always at a quarterback.
Here's the thing. I did bring up
biggest knock on him. You've had Josh Allen. You haven't gotten it done.
I did bring up that weird stat about the Jags. Not a weird stat by any means, but Josh Allen, not good on the road in the playoffs. I don't think he's won a game.
He's 0-4. The first road game was his first ever road game, which was against the Texans when Deshaun Watson was still good. The other three were against Mahomes and the Chiefs. So I heard that stat earlier, and that's tough. The Jacksonville one throws me off. But again, if I'm going to choose one thing,
That's all time though. I think one game of the 19 occurred this year. So,
Okay.
You could probably
throw everything away.
You could throw everything
Throw
away.
it all away.
Throw it all out.
There's just weird stats that you could
Stats and facts.
you could, take into consideration, much like the Steelers' Monday Night Football record
It's awesome.
is awesome. So, do you want that to
If
play
only they could
into-
play on Mondays only.
I mean, we might petition the
Be unbeaten.
NFL. You know what I mean? Yeah, we playing Monday. Make it happen, man. Playing Monday this week.
don't think
or
so,
next
man.
week. It can happen.
Where are you guys on
17
this?
Monday night games. I'm.
So we got more likely to happen. The Bills lose this weekend, or they go on a Super Bowl run.
I think they're gonna lose.
Yeah.
But I could see Josh Allen putting on his Superman cape for this game and then some things kind of shaking out. If the Patriots were to lose, you have the Chargers taking on the Broncos, and then you have the Bills taking on either the Steelers or the Texans. Hey, man. Hey, stop it.
What?
Don't get mad at me because
He was just saying the other team.
He was
It's saying the other team in that game.
Sometimes it's not what you say; it's how you say it, and you know this.
You said Steelers.
You know this, Anthony. Don't allow him.
You going tone on us?
Don't allow him to do this. Okay, it's not what you say; it's how you say it, and how he said it was very dismissive of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I told you all they are God's team. And
I just
you
thought
don't want to be
because
on the wrong side of
you've
that,
got
Jamie.
your Steelers blinders on, you may not have remembered what the other team was.
I'm looking at it. I was going to say it. But yeah, Texans.
I was trying to help you.
Yeah, like Texans.
I mean, they'll play the Texans. But anyways.
See what I'm saying? I knew what he meant. Hey, I think you
Or
agree.
the Steelers?
Marsh?
Yeah, well, speaking of the Texans and the Steelers, more likely to happen, Aaron Rodgers throws for 300 yards versus the Texans, where the Texans' defense has 6 sacks.
Oh, boy.
Oh, give me the 6 sacks.
Give me the 6 sacks.
Even as quickly as Aaron Rodgers throws the ball.
300
I
yards?
can't-
6. He had 300 last game.
Not against that team.
290.
Not against that team.
Without DK Metcalf, who will be back this week. I think you all are really underestimating the old Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think
At
we're
home,
overselling.
Let me tell you something, man. Let me give you all a peek
here we
into the soul of what Pittsburgh Steelers football is. A Monday night in Pittsburgh. Have you ever been to one of those towns, a high school town on a Friday night where everything's shut down and you drive into the stadium and the lights are on?
Yeah.
That's what Pittsburgh
It's a
looks
perfect
like.
time for a robbery, by the way.
Jamie.
No, it is. It's a well-known fact that some of these small towns, everybody goes to the football game, so you got free reign.
Not where I was going with that.
No?
Not that. I don't know how you would know that. We're not going to incriminate ourselves here on the air. But when you
facts. That's what we are.
When you're going to Pittsburgh on a Sunday night, on a Thursday night, or damn sure a Monday night, you're driving into that stadium. It's like
Traffic's terrible,
It's
too.
no. Everybody's in their homes or they're at that damn stadium and they're ready to roll.
Yeah.
And there is nothing like it in America. This is the best football town in the world, Jamie.
Wow.
In the entire world.
There's going to be a lot of disappointed people, Anthony.
I know.
Hey, well, your favorite team is not my favorite team, and if it ain't, I'm sorry for you. Pittsburgh, Monday night, it's going to be rocking. That damn stadium is going to be swaying back and forth.
Yeah.
And
like
the Texans
Aaron
ain't got a
Rodgers.
chance. Yeah, he might swag and surf like old Kirk O'Chains.
Whatever,
Aaron Rodgers for
whatever he's
300.
on, Anthony, I want some.
300.
Immediately.
I had a little bit in my cup.
Yeah, just pour it in mine now.
You guys ready for another weird stat?
Can't see it.
Ready for another weird stat? This is from Graham Barfield on X. He's a co-owner of Fantasy Points, NFL Stats. Slightly favored teams, -2 or -3 spread, are 2-9 straight up on Wild Card Weekend since the expanded playoffs in 2020. Houston, -3 at Pittsburgh. When the spread is 3.5 or more, favored teams are 7-2 straight up. Rams 10.5, Philly 4.5, New England 3.5. The only team in there, and Buffalo, Jacksonville, Green Bay, Chicago, they're pick'ems, but Houston is -3, so that does favor the Steelers.
Oh, it's an automatic loss for them,
This
Anthony.
man speaks nothing but truths.
Put your money where your mouth is.
So you combine that with their
got you.
Monday Night Football record,
That doesn't say yes.
Nah, I got you. Yeah. We'll talk
Aaron
about that after.
Rodgers. Maybe the Steelers end up pulling out a victory on Monday night.
300 plus yards
Hey,
for Aaron.
that I think would be an impossibility. Steelers winning. Look, I could see it. It is wild card weekend. You know, wild stuff happens. Except for last year, where there's like 6 blowouts.
Yeah, that was bad.
All right, guys. More likely to happen, the Eagles make another Super Bowl appearance, or Nick Sirianni is fired at the end of the playoffs.
Eagles are my Super Bowl team.
You gonna stick with it?
I'm gonna stick with it.
You trust them, even though offensively they have been anemic?
Of course I do.
Why are you shaking your head, Anthony?
Yeah.
That's a bit of a contradiction. You shook your head no, but you said, "Of course I do." I'm confused.
I remember.
He's dyslexic.
Yeah. In his words too.
In my actions,
Quite honestly. You see him some days, he's walking down the hall backwards.
I was wondering what that was. I thought he was backpedaling. His favorite player is Dion.
I was just honestly,
Backpedaling.
He was backpedaling.
He calling you a backpedaler? Oh, wow. I wouldn't take that.
Dion
backpedaling.
Yeah, you got a great player.
No, you know what you meant. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, Carey.
Hey,
He's doing it again.
I was a corner.
And a safety, depending on the coverage.
Depending on the coverage.
And a punt returner.
And a punt returner for that one game. One play.
We're going to put you at corner and safety. And
Why?
it's going to trick him.
Yeah. You just literally just put me in. You know what? Never mind. No wonder we lost a lot. Not to mention you had a white corner. I mean,
man.
You know.
The Eagles got 2 of them.
Nah.
They do. Those guys can ball, man.
I love Cooper DeJean.
They can go. I think the Eagles make a Super Bowl run. I think it has been overblown how bad they have been offensively. I think they lean on Saquon. I think A.J. Brown has A.J. Brown type of games during this playoff run. And I think Devontae Smith, continues to take the top off the coverage. And Dallas Goedert is I think second in touchdown receptions in the league.
Yeah, it's like
sneaky,
Devontae Adams
very
and
sneaky.
Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
So,
He doesn't have a lot of yards.
nah, but he got a bunch of touchdowns.
That'll work.
3 targets, 3 receptions, 41 yards, 3 tutties.
Yeah.
Stalter on the fumble.
Okay. Yeah.
What?
You don't have to celebrate it. Okay.
What was the date that happened?
Oh,
Do we have
man.
an exact date?
It was 99?
No, but what date? What
sometime
month?
in the fall.
I need
at-
your parents to get on that.
It was in DeKalb, Illinois. Northern
I want to celebrate
Illinois.
that day.
Northern Illinois.
Every year we celebrate that day.
It would have been on a Friday, right?
We
It would have been on a
get
Friday
your
night.
former high school coach on, talk about it.
It'll be good.
Your parents.
I won't remember.
We'll call it Fumble Friday.
We'd get him on. He'd be like, I don't remember that at all. The hell was I doing?
It was a hell of a corner safety.
Don't field it. Don't field it. To hell with that.
It's my chance.
It's my
baby.
chance. Helmet perfect on that ball. It came out clean. And I got crushed. All right, Sports Six Pack is next. Part 1, 314-399-9646. Got any questions? Send it in. SX on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues take on the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. You can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 7:30. Puck drop is at 8:30. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll do part one of the Six-Pack next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Playing on 101 ESPN.
Time for the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh with question one.
Question number one.
All right, gentlemen, from Grant Francis Fan Club, do you see a scenario where the Blues sell high on Justin Falk at the deadline and then sign Luke Shen in the offseason? Juracek would also compete for a spot at camp.
I definitely see a scenario where the Blues sell high on Justin Falk. Absolutely. I think that would be the plan if your team is not in a playoff run yourselves. And in fact, there's already rumors out there that the Florida Panthers have been kicking the tires on possibly trading for Justin Falk. So you might be able to get pretty good a chunk right there because they're going to have to be cap compliant, which means they're going to have to get rid of players who actually have dollar value attached to them. So it wouldn't be a futures deal like Army's talked about how he does not want to do a futures deal. You might get some rostered players from a really, really good team coming back the other way. And that would be good. I think that'd be good. As far as Luke Shen is considered, it's possible. You know, he's only making 2.7 right now in Winnipeg. I would imagine that it would stay the same or even lower a little bit because he's not having a great year. The Jets just aren't using him at all. I love the way he plays the game. Is he a tad bit slower than he used to be? Yeah, he is. But he's also tough as nails, and the whole clearing out the front of your net thing that we've had a problem with would not be much of a problem with Luke Shen around.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a thing that you would do this season rather than in the offseason.
Acquiring him?
Yeah.
Problem is he's with a division rival.
Yeah.
Very seldom do you see teams. Now, it's not a star player, so it can happen for sure. Like Nashville traded him from Nashville to Winnipeg. They're still in the same division.
Right.
So it could happen. You never know. I mean, especially if you trade Falk, you're going to have to fill the hole. You bring in Luke Shen, let him play out the rest of this year, see if it's a good fit, and kind of go from there.
Question number two.
All right, this next one comes from Marsh's college program, a.k.a. Chester, a.k.a. Carey Davis's arch nemesis.
Oh, wow.
Is Lamar Jackson becoming Randall Cunningham 2.0? Talented to the max, but couldn't get it done when it mattered.
I love Randall Cunningham. Lamar is a two-time MVP. And football is a team sport. Like, he's played to the best of his ability. There have been times where he didn't do what he needed to do. There have been times where players didn't do teammates didn't need to do what they needed to do. There have been times where coordinators didn't call the plays that needed to be called. Like, it's everybody. And I think that's why you saw, John Harbaugh lose his job the other day, is because as the head coach, it falls on you when every single person is not clicking on all cylinders when it's time to try to win a game, specifically a playoff game. So I think a healthy Lamar Jackson is a defensive coordinator's worst nightmare. Coupled with Derrick Henry, nobody wants to see that. I don't care who you are. I don't care how good of a coordinator. I don't care how many great players you have on defense. You're not sleeping that week. So love Randall Cunningham. Loved him. But I think Lamar is a step above. And I think eventually, it's hard to win a Super Bowl. It's hard to make it to the Super Bowl. I think eventually they'll get that opportunity where everything clicks for them.
Patrick Mahomes has been better. Josh Allen at times have been better.
Yeah.
It is. It's very difficult, and CD nailed it. It's a team sport. Lamar hasn't always played his best in games. I mean, there's been times where he has turned the ball over. How about the AFC Championship game 2 years ago? They hosted Kansas City, and Zay Flowers
Fumble going into the end zone.
Yeah. He scores. It might be a different game.
Divisional game last year.
Divisional game last year.
Hit him right between the 8 and the 9.
Twice. I mean, twice he had. But Lamar also had.
Lamar had a huge fumble in that game, too.
You got it, man.
It's everybody.
Yep.
So.
But I don't know if it's. I mean, if he's Randall Cunningham, you take.
Randall Cunningham was
Randall Cunningham was awesome.
good, man. I remember watching him play as a kid. He was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say they're very comparable.
You mentioned all those things that those players did. Sounds like they need to fire the head coach.
Yeah, probably.
They did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They did.
Yeah, he gone.
Question number 3.
636 wants to know, who on the Cardinals do you think will sign an extension to keep him here long term?
Like this offseason or just in general?
I think in general.
Probably Mason Wynn.
To sign who? Yeah, I could see that.
He'd be my first. He'd be my, if it's Vegas and we had odds, I think the odds would be favoring Mason Wynn.
He's probably the only one, right?
That's why I said that.
Okay. I mean, you could sign Alec
Carey wanted to give Donovan a bunch of years not too long ago.
I was the one that said you shouldn't do it.
Nah, that's not what I remember.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, Carey, you're going to get your wish of trading him.
I almost believed you for a second.
Why she don't believe him?
I couldn't remember. I was like, I think Carey did say that.
Did not say that.
We need to play that game of like three lies and one truth.
2 lies and the truth.
2 lies and the truth.
Yeah. I think we kind of do that 2 to 6 every day.
Yeah,
Not me.
Oh.
He does.
There's one.
24 hours a day.
Lie. Nailed it. Go ahead, Marsh.
Are we moving on?
Yes, we are moving on to question 3.
That was
which we
question
just
3.
did. So we're moving on to question 4 next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your lifestyle, St. Louis.
All right, part 2 of the Sports Six Pack is right now. So if you have a question, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Send it on in. We got question 4 right now.
Question number 4.
All right, food and beer guy wants to know, let's say Major League Baseball does strike in 2027. How does that affect guys like Arenado, who will be in a walk year?
For the follow, so like 2 years from now or next, not this upcoming season, but next season?
So his final year of his contract?
I would assume so.
Is that what we're discussing here?
All it does is affect he's not going to get paid.
Yeah.
That's it.
Correct. And it would impact, obviously, his ability to sign with somebody else. And, yeah, that's...
It'd be the end of his career. Let's just be honest.
I mean,
probably.
probably.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I mean, right now, if you're having trouble finding a dance partner to trade for Nolan Arenado, knowing that the team is willing to eat salary,
Yeah.
who's signing that in free agency in 2 years, by the way?
Good question.
Just saying.
Do you guys think they'll actually have a strike? Do you think that will actually happen?
I think there's going to there's a good chance there's going to be a lockout, yes.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't like that.
Of course not. Yeah.
I think it's absolutely 100% that there's going to be a lockout.
If there
Just
is,
depends on how long it's going to last.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If there is, how long do you think it would last? Do you think it would go a full season?
I mean,
We're at the point
I
now,
hope
though,
not.
it might. We're at the point now that the owners or certain owners are not liking the current format. I don't know what the players would be mad at. The players in Major League Baseball are getting everything that they want, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
High salaries, no salary cap per se.
So, food and beer guy chimes back in and says, curious if that made him easier to trade. So, a team, if there is a lockout, they wouldn't really have to deal with
The second year of his contract.
Oh.
But the Cardinals are going to be paying that. So
yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it'll impact him that much. I don't. Yeah. Next. Yep.
Question number 5.
618 is leaving for Vegas Thursday night and coming back Monday. Going to the Blues game Saturday in the Sphere on Friday night.
Nice.
What else should the 618 do while the 618 is in Vegas?
You should absolutely go over to the Cosmo. It's a great atmosphere. The chandelier bar is always kicking pretty good. And they've got a speakeasy called the Barbershop over there. And it literally is a functioning barbershop. You got to call in, get a reservation, they give you a password. And then you walk into the barbershop while they're cutting hair, by the way, through the whole thing over to the janitor's closet. You knock on the janitor's closet, little give the password, and you open up, it's like, boom, 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 boom. You're like, oh man, here we go. It is amazing. Every band that they have play there, play a lot of retro songs, 80s and 90s songs. It's a great party to go to. So that's highly recommend that. And also, head over to Circa. They got the world's largest sports book over there. And lots of fun over there as well.
There you go.
Have you guys been to, obviously you have, but have you guys been to a speakeasy where you have to you knock on the door and there's some guy behind there like Wizard of Oz?
There's one
Rookie of the Year.
There's one in Cottleville right now.
Mandalay, I think it's Mandalay Bay. I'm not sure. Where
MGM used to have one too.
Yeah, where you walk in and it's kind of a bookcase.
You have to,
and you got to push it. I think it's Mandalay Bay. It was it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Go in there. They had some pretty interesting drinks.
There was one in New York a long time ago. You used to have to give a password.
Yeah.
And then when you got in there, it's weird. They gave you a robe. You could walk around for the whole time that you were there.
That's interesting.
Very relaxing.
I think
that's a different. I think that's a different vibe.
What?
Saying.
Still required a password, Carey.
I think there's one at the City Foundry, if I'm not mistaken.
One of those?
That's what Doug's best friend just said.
Speakeasy.
So they have one at the Foundry.
Yeah.
Nice, but expensive.
They got one in Cottleville, too. They really do. It's Oak Street is the restaurant. Really love the place. Great people over there. And the speakeasy is called the Root of the Oak. And you got to take a picture of the QR code, get on the Instagram thing. You got to go to the mailbox and figure out what the number is. Then you beep, 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 punch in the number, and in you go. It's cool, I swear. It's good. Carey, you should go. We should go one night.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
To
If you ever answer your text, when I invite you.
Oh, come on.
I've been very good at responding to text messages.
Come on,
The
man.
rule is, if you don't respond, you don't do it.
Yeah. Well,
You don't
Learn that the
respond,
hard
don't
way.
care.
adults usually respond.
Speak for yourself.
Question number
Advice
6.
overall.
All right, the 618 wants to know, which of the coaching openings do you believe is the most appealing?
Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
If
Not
you
even
take
close.
Baltimore off the list, if you take them off, then who is it?
So who do they go get, though? Knowing that you have a team that's on the cusp of doing something good with that roster, who do you hire? I'm not hiring one of these buffoons in the recycle bin.
That's a very good question. I don't know where they go.
I think
I
it's
feel
gonna,
like it's a veteran coach. Or do you think it's one of those
I think it's going to be either Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers,
I don't like that.
or Anthony Weaver, the defensive coordinator for
Dreamweaver?
the Dolphins.
What about
who
Bill
played for
Belichick?
Baltimore? Who?
Bill Belichick.
He's a college
Bill
coach.
Belichick is
He would
done.
be gone in a
He's
heartbeat.
a college coach.
Nobody wants to deal with that again.
I would see his agent.
I think it's going to be
slash
Minter
girlfriend gets
or
him.
Weaver. That's my prediction.
What about Clint Kubiak?
Oh, John Gruden.
I think Clint Kubiak is going to go to Arizona.
You think he goes within the division, much like what Ben Johnson did?
Yeah. I think he winds up in Arizona.
Oh my gosh, we have multiple people say Mike Tomlin when the Steelers fire him.
Wow.
Hey, the Steelers got a long ways away. They're
Pretty
going
tough
the
to
Super Bowl.
fire a guy
that'd be
that makes the
crazy.
playoffs.
Man.
Pretty tough to fire a guy that's never had a losing season, and all he does is
Coaching
win,
in
win,
the
win in the
Super Bowl.
regular season. You know?
You know what I
What
mean?
about Stefanski?
Kevin Stefanski is going to be with the Giants.
Why would you take I just don't see anybody in the recycle bin right now unless it's not appealing to me if I'm the Baltimore Ravens. This is not.
Yeah, but none of the names that Anthony mentioned
that was
really,
way off, too.
I don't really.
Hey, welcome to the candidates. Welcome to the candidates. This is your pool. Okay?
Do you think John
Do you have
Gruden
to
could make
talk
an
about the
appearance?
people again?
You think John Gruden will get a job interview?
No.
Not at all with all these openings?
No.
Why?
Why? I don't know. Is he worse than what they've got out there right now
Is
as a coach?
I don't know. He ain't coached in who knows how
He
long.
forgot
What, 5
football?
years? Nah, he hadn't forgot it.
You think Nick Saban could still coach?
I don't think Nick Saban wants to coach.
But do you think he could?
Yeah, I think he could.
He didn't forget football, right?
Nah. But sometimes when you're off, when you have a layoff, you're out of it for a while, getting back into it is a little difficult.
Maybe.
There's got to be some names that.
College coaches, maybe?
Well. I was going to bring up maybe some people that aren't coaching right now, like you mentioned John Gruden, but
Mike McCarthy.
yep.
Ah, come on.
Wow.
That's-
That's really digging in the recycle bin.
I mean, his name's going to come up, though, because the pool of candidates aren't great. So, yeah.
I mean, we have people mentioning Brian Flores. I mentioned that yesterday. I think he'd be a great fit with Baltimore, but, with the whole whatever's going on with him in the NFL.
I mean, yeah.
He could also, maybe he goes to Vegas with Tom Brady connection. Vegas clearly, they kind of go by they play by their own rules out there.
Yeah.
That could be a thing.
Could you see Brady dragging Belichick there?
No.
I don't think it has anything to do with them.
I don't think he maybe doesn't like him, but he sees what he can do. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
I could see Brady hiring Brian Flores, who is the DC in New England.
Looking at an article
At
on
one point.
USA Today right now, and they have Brian Flores going to the Las
Falcons?
Vegas Raiders.
Oh.
They have Kevin Stefanski to the Falcons. This is just one person's idea. I don't know the person that wrote it. I'll get that later. Kevin Stefanski to the Falcons. Jesse Minter, Baltimore Ravens. Where are we at? Brian Flores, Raiders. Ravens, I said. Jesse Minter, Ravens.
Yes.
Jeff Hafley, New York Giants. He's the defensive coordinator for the Packers. Mike McCarthy to the Tennessee Titans.
To Tennessee.
And to the Cleveland Browns. This crazy guy. John Harbaugh. The hell do you know him? What is he talking about?
When
Carey,
did you start writing for that publication?
This guy's a ghost writer. Yeah.
USA Today.
Do you know something?
Yeah. That's AI.
Just no ball, man.
What?
Just no ball. Okay. Football, Jamie, not the
right.
football.
Hey, we need a new Gauntlet contestant.
Yeah.
314-399-9646. So if you want to play in the Gauntlet, you have an opportunity right now, but you got to text in. And we'll have the Gauntlet next.
The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the wild card round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. Pick the matchups that you believe in, and we've talked about the Rams taking on the Panthers. The Rams have a chance to go in there and take care of business against the Panthers. Maybe you like the Eagles over the 49ers and the Bears at home over the Packers in a conference divisional matchup. Nothing could beat that. You can have your chance. You can do whatever you want to do. Take your shot on an upset or build a parlay that fits. Then apply your profit boost and go after bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. 21 plus and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
categories, one challenger. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
402, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We have a new Gauntlet contestant. It's Jeff. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, what's up?
Appreciate you playing. Thanks for listening. Would you like to take on Marsh, CD, Jamie, or me in round one?
Let's go CD.
Carey Davis.
Good luck, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. See, he's going to make his way into the cone of silence. Jeff, you're going to tell Andrew Marsh to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marshy.
Jeff, what are you hoping for, man?
Anything but hockey.
Anything but hockey against
Oh,
CD.
my goodness.
And the wheel says, give me that
Random.
3
days in a row.
Wow. That's a lot. Okay, well, you said anything but hockey, and guess what? You got random. So
Great.
you're going to receive...
You don't sound happy, Jeff.
No, not exactly.
All right, you're going to receive 4 questions, all random, all worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions are worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Lizzo might shy away from any man on Marsh's Minnesota Vikings, but what remains her ride or die instrument?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. I'll just read it just how it's printed for me. Lizzo might shy away from any man on Marsh's Minnesota Vikings, but what remains her ride or die instrument?
Options.
The clarinet, the flute, the saxophone.
Saxophone.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, Jeff, question 2. Who holds the WNBA record for most consecutive double-doubles with 15?
Let's go options.
All right, is it Angel Reese, Tina Charles, or Candace Parker?
Candace Parker, final answer.
Question number 3. In Dungeons and Dragons lore, the villain Vecna is known for creating a book. What is this book called?
I have no idea. Options.
Options are Incantations, Spells, and Evil, The Dark Sorcerer Supreme, or The Book of Vile Darkness.
Let's go with the second one. Final answer.
All right. It's the Dark Sorcerer Supreme.
Yes, sir.
All
Final
right, Jeff.
answer.
Last question. Can you tell us the major city in which the last ever penny was minted, which was on November 12th? So can you tell us the major city?
Let's go options.
Philadelphia. Which one is it? What is this?
Roanoke.
Roanoke? Where's that?
West Virginia.
Oh, okay, thank you. Learn something every day.
The Canadian guy will help you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Philadelphia, Roanoke, or Baltimore?
Let's go Baltimore. Final answer.
Okay, let's bring back Carey now from the cone of silence. Jeff, how you feeling?
Not too great, to be honest.
Okay, well, we'll see how Carey does on third straight day here. All right, Carey is making his way back from the cone of silence. He's already got a face he's making.
It's gassy.
Is it?
Which one? I just say third straight day.
Yeah.
Made me feel like it's random.
Nah.
Category today is random, Carey.
Goodness gracious.
Great balls.
It is random.
Pack a lunch, buddy.
All righty.
All right, here we go, CD. Question number 1. Lizzo might shy away from any man on Marsh's Minnesota Vikings, but what remains her ride or die instrument?
The hell should I know
Well
that?
documented.
Options.
The clarinet, the flute, the saxophone.
Clarinet. Final answer.
Got a new man on the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, question 2. Who holds the WNBA record for the most consecutive double-doubles with 15?
Ooh. Tina. Consecutive. Is that in
a row?
In ever, Bob?
Yes.
Tina Thompson, Lisa Leslie. I don't know if Asia Wilson is on the. Give me the options.
Pardon me?
Options.
Okay. Angel Reese, Tina Charles, or Candace Parker?
Tina Charles is a good one. I'm going to go with Tina Charles. Maybe. Angel Reese did do something recently. Is that what she did? She was playing really well. Should have stayed with Tina. Give me Angel Reese. Final answer. Gummit.
Question number 3. In Dungeons and Dragons lore, the villain Vecna.
You got it.
You got this.
I'll just restart it.
Doesn't matter.
Of course. In Dungeons and Dragons lore, the villain Vecna is known for creating a book. What is this book called?
Options.
What?
The hell?
Don't know this?
Your options are Incantations, Spells, and Evil, The Dark Sorcerer Supreme, or The Book of Vile Darkness.
I felt like it would be something about spells, and so I'm gonna go with the first. Was that incantations, spells, and sorcery?
Incantations, Spells, and Evil.
Yeah, give me that one. Give me those spells and evil. Final answer.
You guys know Vecna.
I've never heard of Vecna.
Question 4.
Not Stranger Things fans, I presume.
Can you tell us the major city in which the last ever penny was minted on November 12th?
Why in the hell?
We were just talking about this the other day, Carey.
Who the hell wrote these questions?
I imagine it was our guy Bradford.
I don't know. I feel like Mike Ryder wrote these.
This is, yeah.
The last minted penny?
Can you tell us the major city in which the last ever penny was minted on November 12th?
Philadelphia's on there. I'm going. Give me the options.
Philadelphia, Roanoke, or Baltimore?
I said I was going to go with Philadelphia, so that sounds about right. Give me Philly. Final answer.
Okay.
Gee, that was re-damn-diculous.
I feel like Jeff maybe would have liked to have hockey after hearing those questions.
They said anything but hockey. Got random.
You forgot about random, I
Forgot
think.
about random. Yep. All right. Let's go over these. Lizzo might shy away
We're
from
just going to go right down the list.
any man on March's Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, probably.
But what remains her ride or die instrument? Jeff went with the saxophone. Carey went with the clarinet. Jamie, correct answer is...
Well, everybody knows it's the flute.
The flute. The flute.
Damn it, man.
We got a 0-0 tie. Who holds the WNBA record for most consecutive double-doubles with 15? Jeff went with Candace Parker. CD went with Angel Reese. Correct answer is...
It's Angel Reese.
Angel Reese carries up 1-0.
I'm on the board.
In Dungeons and Dragons lore, the villain, Vecna, is known for creating a book. What is this book called? Jeff went with the Dark Sorcerer Supreme. Also a common option at Taco Bell. Carey went with Incantation, Spells, and Evil. Not on the menu. Not on the menu.
Yet.
Jamie, correct answer is...
Anthony's favorite, The Book of Vile Darkness.
The Book of Vile Darkness is what we were looking for. So Carey's still up 1-0. Can you tell us the major city in which the last ever penny was minted on November 12th? Carey said if Philadelphia is an option, I'm going with Philadelphia. So that's what he went with. Jeff went with Baltimore. If it's Baltimore, we got a walk-off. If it's Philadelphia or Roanoke, Carey wins. Jeff.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Correct answer is
Philadelphia.
Carey wins
Only one I
2-0
kinda
today.
That was rough.
Jeff, sorry, buddy. That was a tough one.
Jeff, it was closer than it seemed.
It really was.
Thank you very much.
That was ridiculous.
See ya, buddy.
Thanks for
Take care,
listening,
man.
See ya. Nice job, Carey.
That boy Carey?
Nice work, man.
What the hell?
I feel bad for Jeff.
That's
That
a
was
tough
really
one.
bad for Jeff. But Jeff forgot.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
He forgot the rules. The wheel knows.
Oh, my
he said, I
goodness.
don't want hockey. The wheel said, okay.
All right.
I'll give you random.
I'll give you something worse for you.
Yep.
That was Jeff's first time in the Gauntlet.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Jeff.
You don't forget your first.
No, that's
for
true.
sure.
I would try and forget it. That was.
Well, you know, hey, he tried. I wouldn't have done much better, that's for sure.
No.
That was just
the
guessing.
only one I may have had a choice, a puncher's chance on was Angel Reese.
Oh, I think
The Angel Reese,
No.
when I heard it, I was like, she just did that. So, but then the Philadelphia, I felt confident in.
Yeah, no.
But then I was like,
Nope, the rest would have been,
I feel like Jamie would be a bard.
What?
You don't even know what that means, do you?
I have not been barred anywhere.
Chaotic bad.
You haven't even taken the
Jamie's chaotic
the
bad.
bar.
But
not yet.
as far as you know.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
He's working on it.
Yeah.
He probably actually has. In his
Never
mind, he's a
know.
lawyer.
You just never know.
He's pretty good.
He's probably been
Have I
disqualified.
Pretty good
litigated?
at arguments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have I passed the bar?
A bard.
You're a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
That would be Jamie's character if he was a Dungeons and Dragons.
What is a
He'd
bard?
be a bard?
What is a
A
bard?
bard?
What's a
What's that?
bard?
We don't have enough.
B-A-R-D?
B-A-R-D.
Well,
What-
I don't know if it was B-A-R-R-E-D.
That's bard, I guess. In a
Bar
different
down.
Bear down.
Bear down. Bear down. All right, moving on.
Guess what the hell this is?
Kim Pro.
What the hell did he just call
Let's
me?
see what he calls you.
Yeah, let's see what the hell he called me.
By the way,
Bard.
prove me wrong coming up at the bottom
He's
of the
not
hour.
bad. He's a pretty handsome devil.
Bottom of the hour, we've got Prove Me Wrong. So if you got any Prove Me Wrong statements,
this guy.
we're bringing it back for 2026. So any sort of statement that you want Carey, Jamie, or me to disprove, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. But again, we'll do that at the bottom of the hour. Can programs live off their name alone in this new era of college football? That's next on 101 ESPN. Well, I'm looking forward to playing the NFL games when it comes to underdog fantasy. But before that, and that starts this weekend, obviously, we got basketball. And if you love to play certain angles or you want to cash in on some of your hunches, there's no better place to play than at Underdog because you can make your entries and win money right now in Missouri. Playing on Underdog, it's easy. Choose whether or not certain players are going to go higher or lower on their stats. They got things like points and rebounds. You've got fantasy points where they give you a fantasy number, and then you choose whether or not that player is going to go higher or lower on their fantasy number. So if you feel like you have an edge when it comes to projecting certain matchups, Underdog, again, is your place to play. Download the app today. Use my promo code Anthony to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. So just remember my promo code Anthony, whether you sign up on the website or at the app. Punch that in when you sign up, and then you can cash in on those bonus entries at Underdog, where you can make plays and win money. Must be 18 or older and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncbgambling.org. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Can programs live off their name alone in this new era of college football? So, in other words, can Lane Kiffin still go to an LSU and say, hey, I coach at LSU. You want to play here? I don't think so.
I think we talked about what works earlier.
Cha-ching. Will some programs still hold that appeal to certain players? Of course. I think Notre Dame, there's still a prestige to play at Notre Dame. Obviously, the restrictions when it comes to, and I don't even call them restrictions, I would just say the high bar that you have to pass from an academic standpoint to even apply to Notre Dame and play there. I think there is a prestige and honor to play at Notre Dame. But like Alabama anymore, I don't know. LSU even, I mean, to some players that are from that region, maybe they're still I've always dreamed of playing at LSU. I've always dreamed of playing Alabama. Other than that, I don't think so. I think players are going to now go, certainly the best recruits are going to go to the ones that are being heavily recruited, and NIL is a huge factor.
Yeah, so the best players are still going to have choices, right? So, and the best players are going to be recruited by the big teams, and the big teams have money. So at the end of the day, your name will matter. So like Georgia, their program there with their head coach. Now LSU with Lane Kiffin and what he's going to try and build there. Obviously what Nick Saban had built in Alabama and whatnot. That's going to matter because each and every program is going to have a certain amount of money that they're going to pay a certain level of player. So a 5-star recruit can take his pick of the litter. He's probably going to get in and around the same amount of money from each and every one of those schools.
Yeah.
So therefore, your name, your program will mean a lot in that case. If it's a case where a player's being paid a smaller amount or a lesser than player, it's probably going to chase the money at that point, not necessarily the program or the coach.
Carey, you coach at the high school level. You also dealt with college football coaches that were calling you about certain players. So what do you think? Do you think that programs can still live off their name to some degree?
I think so. I think there are, because it comes to a point where if you're a college athlete and you got two schools that are calling you and one is offering you, $100,000 more than the other one, but the program that's offering you less money has more prestige, has much more of a name than the other one, and better opportunities to be on national TV every other weekend or every weekend. Or I think that eventually matters because the ultimate goal should be for these young athletes is to get to the NFL. Right, the NIL is awesome. It's a great opportunity, year after year to make some money, put some money in your pocket. But if you're a first-round draft pick, you'll make way more money in that first year of your NFL contract than you did during your time, unless you're one of those, quarterbacks that are making $4.5 million a year. But everyone else, we leave those guys out of it. Everyone else, you'll be making more money in that first year than you had in your entire time during the NIL. So I think that has to be an important part of it as well. And you have to lean into that and understand, yes, the NIL money is important, it's fun, it's great, it's a great opportunity. But the ultimate opportunity and the ultimate mindset should be, will I be playing on Sundays? And that's where I'm trying to get to. And what place and which coaching staff gives me the best opportunity to do that? And if you're looking at a program that is well-established with a well-established coaching staff that has put multiple players in the league specifically at your position, then you're probably going to lean that way and go there.
Yeah, I just wonder, look at Penn State, right? Like, the past couple of years, they've been in it. Now they're kind of a joke in a sense, right? Based on all the things that happened this past season. But then I look at Indiana. Indiana has never been a football school up until, the last 2 years?
2 years.
If I'm a kid in high school, I'd rather go play at Indiana over Penn State. Penn State's a bigger name. They probably have more money to throw into the football program, but why would I want to go there?
Yeah.
I'd rather go to Indiana at this point in time, especially if they're throwing around the same type of money. I think things have changed. But maybe that goes to your point about, they don't have a coaching staff set in that has been there for multiple years that has a winning pedigree.
Yeah.
Maybe the previous regime did. They didn't win anything, but at least they were competitive and they were there, towards the end of the season. But I just think with how things are going now, when I grew up, it was LSU, it was Ohio State, Alabama, Texas. Those teams are still relevant. But what has LSU done in the last couple of years in terms of winning?
Nothing since the national champion team.
2019. That was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
They had a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But in terms of like college football playoffs and
team
being
success,
prominent, no.
It's been a minute.
Yep.
Based on their high expectations, of course. Carey, what do you think? You're the closest ones to the high school athlete.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think they're looking for?
They're not. Colleges?
Yeah.
They're not.
No. I mean like the high school athlete.
Oh, well, I think they're looking for it depends. It varies. It depends on the person, and it depends on, kind of their upbringing and what they're around. I think the ones that have good guidance and are being coached in the right way are looking for an opportunity to be paid, but also looking for an opportunity to play. Mm-hmm. Like that has to be, you got to get on the field, because if you're not playing, the money that you're receiving is not going to stay. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you, Carey. I tried to hit the button, it didn't work. So you have to be able to put them in a position to find the best place to play football, but also the best place.
Bless you.
Excuse me. To the best place to get your NIL as well. I'm working through it.
No, you're battling, buddy. I like
you are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's allergic to this NIL BS.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here goes again.
I firmly believe that all things being equal. So if it's if you look at some of the coaching staffs right now at the best programs, like Penn State's struggling a little bit. They've got a lot of work to do to rebuild that aura around the program. But if you look at some of the best programs, like if it's Georgia, LSU, I mean, take your pick, Indiana right now. If you're a good player, you're going to get an offer that's comparable. Mm-hmm. So it's not like the nostalgic, like I want to play for the Georgia Bulldogs. It's like I want to play for Oregon or Indiana because there's money there, or I like this system, or I have a chance to play more here. Again, I think the top players are going to choose the best situation for themselves from a playing standpoint, knowing the money's going to be comparable across the board for them.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. All right, CD?
No,
you good?
buddy?
No?
You good?
You got more coming, I think.
Yeah, I do.
Dust bunnies.
Well, Marsh tried to bury it.
Oh, come on.
He tried hard, too. He tried to kill it. Didn't even tell us.
He did.
He just removed it.
Didn't say a word to us.
What the hell your problem is, Marshy?
We should add a third part to the six-pack, too.
No, two's great.
Oh, okay.
We can.
That was a shot at you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Make no mistake. That was aimed right at you.
That's okay. That's fine. Prove me wrong is what we're going to do next. So if you have a prove me wrong statement, send it in. Something that you want either Carey, Jamie, or me to argue against. And we have to present our case to Marsh, who we just slandered. So it should be fun. That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues back in action tonight, taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. We'll have pregame for you starting at 7:30. Puck drop is at 8:30. We'll also talk with Joe Vitale at 5:15, so stay tuned for that. But coming up next, we have Prove Me Wrong. So if you have a Prove Me Wrong statement you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Prove Me Wrong is next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
All right, time to dust off Prove Me Wrong. First time in 2026. This is where you send in a statement that you want either CD, Jamie, or me to prove wrong. And the Honorable Andrew Marsh is taking his place.
It's good to be back in the courtroom. Said nobody. Ever. Well, except the lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
I like being in there.
And the judge.
Trust me.
Maybe. All right, Judge, what is our first case?
All right, the water boy text in. Prove me wrong. The starting third baseman for your St. Louis Cardinals on opening day will be Nolan Arenado.
No chance. Cardinals have already moved on from him. In every which way outside of actually trading him or releasing him. And I would have to imagine that the Cardinals would release him before they put him on the bench, or certainly allow him to start at third base. I think they have moved on internally, and at some point he'll either be traded or dumped. I think that train has passed.
Yeah, and Anthony, you were with your lovely family over the holidays. We had Ollie Marmol on, and Ollie basically said that the team is preparing in different ways for third base for next season, but you never know what can happen. That tells me he kind of knows something.
Off to a hot start.
Good job, man.
Thank you.
314, prove me wrong. John Harbaugh will never be as successful with another team as he was with the Ravens.
I mean, because they had so much success every year, huh? I mean, they went to a Super Bowl. They had a great time. But there are other programs and other teams that have talent. We talked about the Atlanta Falcons, probably one of the most talented football teams that have not yet gotten over that hump. You go down there with that defense and the way that those guys fly around, you got one of the best running backs in the NFL in Bijan Robinson. I think John Harbaugh will go wherever he goes and have, if not as much success, more success than he ever had in the last 10 to 12 years with the Baltimore Ravens.
Not to mention that he had success with guys not named Lamar Jackson, too, at quarterback. He had success with lesser thans. Let's not forget that.
You tell me he's going to win a Super Bowl.
Wherever he goes.
With what team?
Probably
Team X. Why
Team X. Because we can't, we don't know where the cards may fall.
He may sit out.
He may.
A year, and then
and you don't want to
hook up with another team
next year, the following year. Might not feel this crop of teams as
suitable for him.
Yeah.
Wow, this one's tough. Guy won a Super Bowl, though.
He deservedly did.
Yeah, which means he can do it again.
He can and shall.
Yeah.
As soon as he's
With
ready.
a lesser team.
Well, lesser maybe to start with, but once he's there, look what he built before. He can do it again.
Great coaches do.
Most people learn from past mistakes, so he might build something even greater.
All right, I'll let it slide.
Thank you, Judge.
I'll let it
job
slide.
there, CD, Jamie, way to go, co-counsels.
Nice job, buddy.
Yeah.
From 314, despite the little run, prove me wrong, despite the little run the Blues had last season, they are actually further behind in the rebuild process than the Cardinals. The Blues will need to do a more full teardown this offseason like the Cardinals have already started.
Yeah, no, that's just false. I mean, when you look at the Cardinals, They were trying the smoke and mirrors tactic of talking about they're not in a rebuild, but they clearly were. I don't know what they were in. They were just spinning their wheels in the mud. At least Doug Armstrong, look at the cupboards right now. They're full of young players. We got Juracek at the World Juniors, best defenseman at the tournament. The goaltender for Sweden, best goalie at the tournament. Dvorsky right now. Stenberg, we're seeing what he's bringing to the table. Jake Neighbors, Jimmy Snuggerud, that's all young guys. So the retool, rebuild is over. Usually you go into those trying to pick up those draft picks, trying to get those young players. And this year, let's just be honest, people have been injured throughout the whole season. I don't like to use injuries as an excuse, but it's a fact. When you're missing a player like Dylan Holloway, who was potentially going to be a 40-goal scorer, you don't think that affects your team? You don't think that affects your offense? And yet still, here we are. The Blues are just nearly out of the playoff picture. So once we get healthy bodies back and some of those young guys start to perform the way they can, they're way ahead of the Cardinals. Like, nobody's talking about playoffs for the Cardinals next year. We talked about, will they win 78 games or not next year?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't tell me they're further behind than that.
From the 314, prove me wrong. The Blues don't seem to buy in every year until December.
Technically, they didn't buy in until after.
His face looked like he farted.
It is National Pass Gas Day.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Listen, I think this team buys in right from the start. Now, is it a situation where they
I feel like we're set up for the
that was tough. Yep.
Can't even go back to 2019.
No, you can't.
It took till January to get going.
Yeah.
Damn it, Bobby.
What the hell?
This is an interesting one. From the 618, prove me wrong. The NFL would not be as popular as it is if fantasy football did not exist.
Are you kidding me? Have you seen Las Vegas? Seen Las Vegas? You don't need fantasy football. You just need to be able to gamble on all these games. That's the bottom line right there. Fantasy football, quite honestly, evolved because of the gambling world. So when you look at the NFL as far as popularity is concerned, first of all, it's a wonderful game to watch.
Yeah, it's the best game ever.
Some would say it's ballet on turf.
Man,
quite honestly.
I've heard it called that before.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And watching these athletes, these massive human beings do what they do on a weekly basis is really quite impressive. But to say that it's only popular because of fantasy football, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that the game itself is widely popular, but it's also been very popular because of the gambling aspect, which now you can gamble on fantasy football, but what came first? The gambling came before the fantasy football did.
I need more.
And are you telling me that when Joe Montana was playing, we weren't worried about no fantasy football? We were watching him and Jerry Rice hook up in the end zone. Like, you throwing touchdown passes. Yeah, what Anthony, you go ahead.
Judge, if I may.
It would, remember the question.
Would
not be as popular.
As popular. Okay. Well, wouldn't the NBA have an opportunity to be as popular? NBA's got fantasy. Baseball has fantasy.
Hockey.
You guys know
Wouldn't it?
darn well it's not
Judge,
the same.
if I may.
If it was just the fantasy aspect
If it was
of
just the fantasy aspect of it, wouldn't all these other sports be as popular?
Or
as
even
the
more
NFL?
popular than they are?
people would be tuned in. It's the
If
football,
we
man.
were just talking about the fantasy being the straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah, it's the football.
I don't think so, man.
No, you're right.
It's the football.
Yeah. What a beautiful sport.
People hitting each other, bodies hitting the turf, guys running fast, blocking a man against his will. You don't get that in other sports.
Guy sticking his hands under another guy's butt.
Right.
I was gonna hit the ding, and I just I don't know where that comment came from.
It's beautiful, isn't
The
it?
guys on the
Imagine
sideline.
that. They care so much about this sport,
Pulling
they don't
other
care
guys back.
that it looks like another man's trying to deliver a baby under him.
Pulling guys back, making sure they don't
care.
get hit.
Yeah.
You know, the get back coaches of the world. You don't get those in other sports.
Sticking up for teammates. You know, all that stuff.
I'm going to ignore. I typically don't do this. I'm going to ignore what you guys just said, but Anthony, I think you made a great point.
Thank you.
So I'll give you the ding.
Thank you, Judge.
What the?
I appreciate
What's
you.
that little?
Yeah.
I'll give you the ding.
You got to hit your knuckle right up under.
Yeah.
Hit your knuckle.
Make sure you're alive.
You gotta love the game for that.
I will say, though, and the 618 brings this up. I agree with the 618.
Uh-oh.
NFL is way better for fantasy because of the schedule, 1 day a week and only 17 weeks. Absolutely fantastic. Fantasy absolutely boosts the NFL.
I mean, the fantasy players, they love fantasy. They can do it every day in
How
baseball.
many people do you think in
He's gonna have to
St.
file an
Louis?
appeal. This one's already been decided.
No, I already hit the ding. It's fine. We're just having another
I'm
discussion.
sorry,
because
was football 16 weeks prior to 14 weeks prior to fantasy football? Then 16? Then 17? It's the game that brings everything.
No, it's the money that brings in.
And what brings in the money, Marshy?
Players.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's reading my damn mind again, just like this morning. Just like earlier today.
We're one and the same.
He's reading my damn mind.
Okay? We're one and the same, buddy.
You remember that documentary, literal documentary about the Dallas Cowboys, and where the NFL was before Jerry stepped in?
Yeah,
was it as big as what it is now back in the day?
No, but it's not like Jerry said, "Hey, let's bring in fantasy."
He said, "Let's bring in those."
Did. That was different. Yeah, that was a different fantasy.
Place.
Yeah.
Kind of
All that stuff.
Yep. You're not wrong, Marsh. Yeah.
All right, you guys want to do one more, or do we want to end with that one? I feel like that was a good one. Maybe
Yeah, no, I think we can end on that one. Absolutely.
It was good to be back.
Nice job, guys.
Does
it feel good?
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
Do you like that power, Marshy?
I mean, sure. I'm not one to lust over power.
You should let Jamie be the judge next time.
I mean, we could.
Yeah. Let
You
Jamie
want to
be
step
the
back
judge.
here and hit a button?
I do want to do this one, though. So this is from Garland. I would just go Garland in the snake pit. Prove me wrong. Baseball players deserve more of a salary than football players. Football players play 30 minutes a game times 18 games equals 9 hours a year, basically. Football players either play offense or defense is how the 30 minutes a game comes from. I will say this. One thing you have to understand is that baseball contracts are, what's the word? Guaranteed.
Guaranteed, yes.
Only certain portions of football contracts are guaranteed.
Yes.
And I don't see any baseball players running into people.
Yeah, football players and hockey
If we're going to
players,
get
for
into
that
this
matter.
debate, hockey salaries should be way higher.
I mean, yeah, if you
than
want to
what
do
they
that,
are. If we're talking about the physical demands.
you could die following a game in hockey when your spleen burst and you have no idea.
It happens.
And baseball players do make more. I mean, we don't have an NFL player making $750, $60 million.
Yeah.
What are we
You got
talking
no
about?
salary cap in baseball. What the hell's Garland talking about?
Come on, Garland.
Be better.
Jeez. Thank you for listening to the show. We appreciate you
supposed to
being in the
prove
snake
them wrong.
pit. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. We did.
Yeah.
You said shake your head.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Will the month of January decide the fate of the Blues? You better figure out in the next 4 or 5 minutes. That's next on 101 ESPN. Fastline on 101 ESPN. Will the month of January decide the fate of the Blues? Well, they're 2-0 thus far.
Yeah,
in the month of January. They got
Here we go.
They got Chicago Blackhawks tonight. These upcoming games could very well decide the fate of the team. They have a tough month of games, however, following it. To me, anytime you talk about the schedule, one, we just don't know whether or not future teams will be banged up, dealing with injuries, on a cold streak, on a hot streak. I think it's just dangerous to play the schedule game. It's fun, but it's dangerous because then you set yourself up for either poor expectations or high expectations. So, to me, this is about the Blues, how they play, how much they buy in, to use the hitch term. I think it's more about the Blues than it is their opponents. Because I think if they play up to their capabilities when they're completely healthy, I think they can play with anybody.
Yeah.
If they play like they've done at various times this season, it doesn't matter who the opponent is.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They also have 8 home games in the month of January as opposed to 6 on the road. So you're giving yourself an opportunity there, hopefully, to create an advantage for yourself. They do have a couple of tough games. This road trip that they're on, starting in Chicago tonight, going to Utah, then Vegas. I think all 3 games are winnable. You beat Vegas here on home ice. Will they be a little more difficult there in a back-to-back situation for the Blues? Yeah, probably a little more difficult there. But those are 3 games that you look at. If you're playing the game the right way, you can win. Your next few after that, though, are going to be tough. Carolina's a good team. Tampa's a good team. Edmonton's a good team. And you get a little break against the Jets there, but then you get Dallas, LA, Dallas, Florida. Mm-hmm. It's a tough track for sure, but you also can look at it the other way too, is you start to get right here as a team and you start to put together some wins against some of those teams, and now you know you belong in the playoff picture. Sure. You don't feel like you're there by default because other teams have fumbled the ball, which they have. It's been a lot like the National League. Marshy said it yesterday, to where you don't know who's really trying to reach out and grab a playoff spot. This month could be a situation for the Blues where you show yourselves and the rest of the league that you're in it. Mm-hmm. You're in it. Or you're way back.
I think you got to obviously take it one game at a time, but I know I joke about it, but you got to win. Like the overtime losses, it's a point, but I don't think that that's sustainable. No. And I think it also mentally it does something to you. If you're up in a game and then the opposing team scores late in the third period and then you got to go into overtime and then you lose, like psychologically, yeah, you gained a point, but you still lost the game. So right. I think you have to find a way to win, even if it's in overtime. If you find a way to score late in the third period and finish it off in overtime with the win, like you got to find ways to stack wins. They've stacked 2 of them. Stack another one and literally take it one day at a time, one game at a time, and not worry about the overall record. You haven't won 3 yet, not 3 in a row. So get another one tonight, and then stack on top of that. But win the games. At this point, just getting points, in my opinion, is not sustainable for your playoff future.
Yeah. For me, when I look at January, I do think this is the most important month of the season. You are close in the standings, but we have to remember that there is a 2-week gap in February. So you have 2 games entering February against a Nashville team that has sort of found their game, and Dallas, who is really good, plus the games that we just mentioned in the month of January. But you have that 2-week gap. And then before the trade deadline, you only have 4 games. Mm-hmm. So as we saw last year coming out of the 4 Nations, there was a little bit of a run there where the Blues told Doug Armstrong, basically with their play, don't trade anybody.
Sure.
I don't know if you have that runway this year because of that 2-week gap of no games. Mm-hmm. So it really comes down to, what does your team look like in January and a couple games into February to really decide the fate of what this team will ultimately look like come trade deadline time, unless you rattle off 4 wins in a row before March 6th coming out of the Olympic break. That's just where I'm at right now. I do think that this month is crucial for this team, and it's a tough stretch. But like Jamie said, if they can win some of these games, maybe they do prove to Doug Armstrong that they are one of the teams that can be in the playoffs. So.
Why don't we light the lamp?
Let's go, baby.
We haven't done this
I feel like
in
we
a
haven't.
while.
Yeah, we haven't done this in a while.
But a couple of guys can really shoot the puck.
Shooter!
I must confess you scored first.
Well, who was the first person?
Breakaway! Shoots! Score! We got hockey to learn.
All right, Marsh, what are the latest standings?
All right, Jamie, 10 points. Anthony, 3.
Oh, man.
Carey, 13.
Put him on the board.
I have
Yes.
6.
Okay.
Give me, hell, he the only one scoring. Give me Justin Falk.
That's not a bad pick. Give me Jake Neighbors. It's got to pay off at some point. I mean, what do you want me to do? He hasn't scored forever. Plays a good
Hey, listen, it's a
He hates your pick.
it's a good strategy.
He hates your pick. I don't care what he thinks.
He's going Robert
I don't
Thomas. It
blame you.
doesn't matter.
He's going
Jordan
Jordan
Kyrou.
Kyrou.
So we had a texter today from the 636. They texted in, is Colton Parayko due plus 1,000? I think he is. Give me Colton Parayko tonight.
Wow, Marshy. Big play. I don't hate it at all.
Nah. Why don't we go with
This just so. Hey, come on, man.
what's your problem?
Well, it'd be nice if you made a pick.
2 names.
I can take my time.
He's
No,
going.
you really can't.
It's 2 names.
Your shot clock.
Nah.
You get nobody then.
Give me Dalibor Dvorsky.
Look at you stepping out on a limb.
My goodness.
Proud of you.
Don't sound like you're proud of me.
Very proud of you.
Oh, okay. You know what? Then that's all. I'll take it. All right. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Don't forget tonight's Blues game. I think is at like 1 a.m.
Pretty close. I don't
Is
know.
that when you'll be watching?
Probably 8:30 for a central time slot.
Yeah,
Weird.
8:30, 7:30 pregame right here on 101 ESPN. 8:30 puck drop at the United Center in Chicago. That is a late puck drop. The 2025 NFL fraud alert rating. So Marsh is going to dissect a certain article, present some teams in order. When we hear about the list or the teams on the list, what comes to mind? That's next on 101 ESPN. 5:02, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Our guy Andrew Marsh dug up an article that he was looking at, and he wanted to throw out some teams. And, well, Marsh, I'll just let you set it up since this is your baby.
Yeah, so this is Scott Kaczmar, if I'm saying that correctly, NFL writer.
The Katzman. Rock the Katzman.
Jerry, he don't like it. Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Carey?
Who's saying Carey?
I actually don't know.
Okay, yeah. None of us know.
All right.
I just heard him say Katzenmoyer. I didn't hear anything else.
Andy Katzenmoyer.
That's what I heard.
Sorry, Marsh. Go ahead, buddy.
All right, so this is 365 scores, and we're looking at the NFL fraud alert rating. And so I'm just going to basically just run down what this is. And this gentleman created a metric that calculates a couple of things: strength of schedule based on simple rating system at Pro Football Reference, turnover margin, takeaways minus giveaways, and average starting field position on offense. And here's some nuggets that this guy threw in this article. Of the 768 teams since 2002, the bottom 114 in FAR, which is the fraud alert rating, did not win the Super Bowl. There's another one. Teams ranked higher in FAR, suggesting they're a bigger fraud, win fewer playoff games in every round of the NFL. The higher FAR team is 20-26 in the conference championship game, the inverse of that record, 26-20 for the other three metrics, again, suggesting that ranking lower in the fraud alert rating is better. So before we get to this list, who do you guys believe are the biggest frauds so far?
This just playoff teams?
Just playoff teams.
Well, will the Carolina Panthers be a fraud on this list, or are they?
They're a playoff team.
Or are they just
There was
bad?
a lot of information. I'm trying to figure out if a team I'm picking is going to qualify as a fraud.
I would say, you know what?
I think the Panthers have to qualify, right?
I don't even know if they would be thought of, though.
Okay, that's my question.
They might not make the cut.
But that means they're a fraud.
But, for the criteria, which I couldn't.
Well, can you go over the criteria?
Yeah, can you go over the criteria again?
I won't be able to do that. Marcia could. I'm going to say the Denver Broncos.
All right.
Somebody always gets set.
Criteria: strength of schedule, turnover margin, average starting field position on offense.
So
I would say.
Do you have the teams that qualify?
Yeah, so we're trying to guess.
We're looking at all the. I'm just giving you the opportunity to guess.
Yeah, and I would like to guess, please. And thank you.
You want us to go
Anthony,
one
I'm
through?
not trying to get the answers, Anthony.
One through 14?
No, we don't have to do that.
But I worry
I'll go
about
over
him
the
just
list.
giving it to us.
The attitude.
Hard. You know?
All right, you want to come to a consensus on the number one team?
I think Denver. I think Denver's a good one to start.
But they probably have pretty good starting field position because of their defense.
I wonder about
Chicago?
Well, Chicago's strength of schedule, though. They'd be okay there. Patriots from a strength of schedule standpoint.
I'm going to say it.
Steelers?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Here we go. Turnovers. I don't know.
The Eagles.
Oh. That's it.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Now, I don't agree with it because of my Super Bowl team, of course,
either.
but that's it.
It's the Philadelphia Eagles.
He right.
All right.
All right, Marsh.
No.
Damn it.
It's not the Eagles.
That was quick.
We didn't even get it. We didn't even get to formally.
He didn't even play around.
We didn't get to. We get a buzzer or a ding.
Yeah, nothing.
Nope. Jamie wants the ding.
Do I ever?
Yeah.
San Francisco?
No, because they would have a tough strength of schedule.
The Seahawks.
They would also, playing in the same damn division, Carey, would have a hard schedule.
They got 2 games where it's not that hard.
I think
I say the Patriots.
Yeah. All right, let's go Patriots.
Marsh, we would like to formally submit the New England Patriots.
No. All right, I'm going to go through the list.
Thank you.
Chicago Bears have a plus 4.52, so they're plus in this category. Bears 1, Jags 2, New England Patriots, Texans, Steelers, Rams, Bills, Eagles, Chargers, Packers, 49ers, Broncos, Panthers, Seahawks.
So the Bears are the
most fraudulent, or the Seahawks are the most fraudulent based on this article?
I believe it is the Seahawks based on them and the Broncos. They're not.
Well, but why would they?
That's what I said. I said the Broncos and the Seahawks.
Sam Darnold.
That's exactly why.
Thank you.
He's kind of got your point there.
Whatever, dude.
And that's based on like turnover margin, right? So the Bears defense, they create a lot of turnovers.
Well, yeah.
Now they were 2-4 in the division, strength of schedule, of course, but they're creating a lot of turnovers. Whereas Denver and Seattle, their turnover, and none of this, it's just based on metrics, right? So none of this is actually, there's no like facts or factual things.
Stats or facts.
It's not stats or facts. This is more of an opinion type thing.
This is not for our show, then.
Okay, well then we can stop doing it.
This is not for our show. It's not stats and facts.
Okay, so do we agree with the fraudulent Seahawks thing? I don't.
I don't think they're fraudulent.
I do.
I don't.
I think the Seahawks.
Compared to some of the teams in the playoffs?
So if everything goes how it's supposed to, Bears beat the Packers, Eagles beat the 49ers, the Rams would be taking on Seattle in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking the Rams in that game. It would be hard for you, and I know they lost to them, I think 3 weeks ago now. And they lost by 1 point, if I'm not mistaken.
Thursday night, yeah.
But I think you're still going to take the Rams in that situation, even in Seattle, with Seattle being the number 1 seed. Because in my opinion, and I think you believe this as well, I don't want to speak for you, sir, but I think you think the Rams are a better team than Seattle. Now, Seattle may have better parts of their team. Maybe their defense is a little bit better. But the Rams are a better overall team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that's why they could be fraudulent.
Yeah, but are they the most fraudulent, though?
I mean, based on this one's like these.
This
very
was obviously based on
metrics.
the formula, but if we're doing our own kind of
Well, so if we were to do our own, like who would be the most
let's toss this article
fraudulent?
out for a second. Let's do our own.
I think the Eagles are a pretty good one, even though Anthony hasn't won the Super Bowl. I hate to say the Patriots, but I do think that they could be a fraud.
I think the Patriots, if you watch the Patriots play, it's hard not to come away impressed.
Yeah.
But the fact that their schedule is so weak,
that's kind of where
you're like, all right, well, I could see them being.
I mean, they beat up on the teams they should beat up on,
Right.
but what does that really say to us?
No, they played an Ohio State type schedule this year.
Wow.
I feel like there's a ton of. Well, it means they didn't play anybody.
They really
until when it mattered.
I mean, they really didn't.
Played 3 tough games this year.
The toughest game
they won one of them.
Played was
by 7.
The Bills.
I feel
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Buffalo would crush Ohio State.
I'm talking about Patriots, guys. Jesus, can you stay on task?
Is it possible to say that
Are we
almost
talking about Ohio State or the Bills or the Patriots? I got lost. You were
New
talking
England.
about
I was talking about Ohio State.
Yeah,
I was talking about New England.
We're having 4 different conversations.
The question was NFL related.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell he's doing, but
I said Ohio State had 3 difficult games this year.
And they only won 1.
And they only won one of them by 7.
The Patriots probably only they have the Bills twice.
And that's it.
Really, the Buccaneers.
And they lost to the Raiders. The Patriots did.
Week 1.
That's crazy. I don't know how
Raiders
you do that.
peaked. We did it
early.
And they lost to the Steelers.
That's a tough loss, though.
So I think
say.
based on our own eyeball test here and strength of schedule, I think the Patriots probably a fraud. And that really hurts me to say that.
I know. I hear you.
I think that you can make an argument that every single team in the playoffs right now could be labeled as a fraud.
Oh,
Wow. Well, let's go through it. So let's
Flawed at least.
Flawed or fraud, right?
Mm-hmm.
Broncos, a lot of tight games throughout the entire year. Good defense. If they lose, we're like, oh, that team was a fraud all season
we
long.
knew it.
Steelers, you can make an argument they shouldn't be in the playoffs.
Oh God.
If Tyler Loop hits a field goal, they're not in the playoffs.
You heard what Mike Tomlin said, didn't you? Okay, continue.
The Texans, good defense. At times, their offense is
awesome. Mediocre.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
The Jags.
Mid.
The Jags would be the one team that I don't think.
I think Jacksonville's legit.
I think they have.
And they could still
best
lose
team.
this weekend.
They could. But I think they are the one team that does not have any real glaring flaws.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just mentioned those 3 teams above them. Yes, the Bills can't stop the run. The Patriots, young quarterback and
they don't have a pass rush. The Patriots cannot rush the passer.
And then the Chargers are just dealt with
Offensive
so
line is
many
a mess.
injuries. Like in the AFC, the Jags, in my opinion, are the one team that I can't pick out one glaring flaw that I can say, yep, that'll cost them.
Yeah. But my point is, if you go through the list of games, could you find a matchup where if a team loses, you're not saying, oh, that team was a fraud? Because if the Bills beat the Jags, I'm sure there are people out there that are going to say, well, that team's a fraud, despite them winning all those games in a row. That team was a fraud.
Jacksonville. It's Trevor Lawrence.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
If the Bills lose, you're saying, well, that team was a fraud.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I see your point.
They're Josh Allen. You know, you go to the NFC side of things. Maybe it's the Rams and Panthers matchup.
This also is the effect of not having Mahomes in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. This is also not having Lamar in the playoffs and Josh Allen, but he's a 6 seed because they didn't win the division. So I think it's a byproduct of that. The Eagles, we could all say the Eagles, that's a top team. They didn't play like a top team all year.
Right.
They could turn it on, but there's no legit top team. If you go through all of our stack ups, our fast lane stack ups each and every week, we probably had a new number one damn near every week.
Yeah.
And that's just a byproduct of the parity that has run rampant right now in the NFL.
I don't believe we'll really get a true understanding of these teams until next season, when a lot of the teams that have won based on their schedule will have to play tougher teams throughout the season.
Sure.
So I would not be shocked if a lot of these teams are not in the playoffs next year.
So like Patriots playing a first place schedule or something.
Maybe.
Yeah. I hear you. Alrighty. Joe Vitale is going to join us next. He's our one of our hockey insiders here on 101 ESPN. You hear him, of course, alongside Chris Kerber on the Blues Radio Network. He'll join us. We'll talk about this Blues potential winning streak next on 101 ESPN. We got our guy Stewie on the line right now, and Stewie, I know that some people are retiring right now, and they're not really familiar with a potential loan that can save them a bunch of money.
Well, you know, Anthony, we had an ESPN listener, a nice older gentleman. He was co-signing for his kids to get a new house. Now, what happened was they went with another lender, a credit union. A day before closing, the credit union says, I'm sorry, you're not making enough money. You don't qualify for the loan. Everybody went nuts. They sold their house. They had a truck ready, everything. Could not get the loan done. They said, hey, can you do it? The real estate agent for the seller side called me, says, can you get it done? I know you. I heard about you. I said, I can get it done in 7 days. Had the appraisal transferred, and we got it closed in 7 days. How do we do it? This individual had a retirement account, and what people don't know that I know is you can set up a distribution from that retirement account, and for income purposes to get qualified, it actually works well. So if you're retired and you're not making enough income, but you have a retirement account, you can set up those distributions, get approved for the loan. After the loan closes, you can cancel future distributions. End of the day, we got it, Doug. Big bang boom. 7 days FHA loan, and they're in the house of the dreams.
Not all heroes wear capes, Stewie, but you should. I'm telling you what, that's amazing. And like you said, a lot of people don't know this stuff. And I know certainly myself and Anthony, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners don't know the ins and outs and how to get things taken care of properly. That's why they should call you, Stewie. And you give him a call on his personal cell phone. That number is 314-324-4440.
Again, that number is 314-324-4440.
Call him, text him. Even if you just need a second opinion on something like that, call Stewie. He's going to help you out. He's our guy. Needs to be your guy. If you can't remember that number, Anthony?
You can always Google the Bagel Loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Have a great night, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
This is the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We're talking everything St. Louis Blues as we head into the Blues booth on 101 ESPN. Presented by Boardwalk Hardwood Floors. Find your perfect new floor at boardwalkhardwood.com.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Collier and Thompson phone line. We're joined by our guy, Joe Vitale. Joe, Happy New Year, man.
Hey, Stalt, Happy New Year to you two guys.
Appreciate it. So the Blues unbeaten in 2026, and we had a segment earlier today that I'd love to get your thoughts on, and it was what leads you or potentially leads you to believe that the Blues could begin to maybe climb in the standings. If I were to ask you that question, what would you say?
Well, I would say a couple things right off the top. You know, number one, you're starting to kind of get healthy again, right? I mean, tonight you're entering Nathan Walker coming back into the lineup. You know, Robert Thomas took a bit of a scare a few games ago at Colorado. Looks like he's going to be just fine. Kyrie's back. Snuggerud's back. You know, Nick Bukestad's on the trip. Hugh Suter around the corner. So you are getting healthier at a pretty important time. You know, you're looking at the goaltenders right now. I think we have a pretty sweet spot with them, where I think Joel Hofer has arguably kind of taken over the net here a little bit. Not saying he's the guy, but I think on these swayed games where you're like, who do we go to? You know, I think that he's getting the latest ones that shows how far along he's come. And with that, I think Jordan Binnington feels that. I think he feels that he's on the outside a little bit, and he once again has something to prove. And his entire career, he has proved this. His entire career, he's had to play with that chip on his shoulder. I think he's at his best when he's got that chip on his shoulder, and he has to go out there and reclaim that job. So you're getting healthier, and your goaltenders are starting to turn a really good corner and starting to, you know, build for you and win some games. So those two things right there, to me, Stalt, it's a really good sign that this Blues team is going to keep building in the right direction.
Joe, looks like Nathan Walker's drawing back into the lineup. If that's correct, you know, what does that bring to the lineup for this group?
Yeah, it looks like Nathan will be back here. Talked to him this morning. He's super pumped. He's excited to be back. You know, he made quite a recovery. They were thinking, you know, more 6 to 8 weeks. I think he's at 5 weeks today, so a lot quicker than they were expecting. You know, he ended up blocking a shot in that Vegas game the first time they played Vegas, and he's battled back and responded very well to the treatments and everything. So he's a guy that, Jamie, as you know, he's going to bring energy. He's going to bring that spark. You know, he was leading the team in hits when he got hurt. I expect him to reclaim that very quickly because he's just a fireball. You know, he's a physical kid. He doesn't play what his stature, his size is. He's fearless getting to the net, fearless on the forecheck. He's just a ball of great fun and charisma on the bench, too. I mean, guys want to play with him, be around him. He's one of the biggest characters in the locker room, so he's going to give a jolt to the personality of this group, which I think is super important, especially this time of the year. I mean, you're at game 44 tonight. I've always talked to some players this morning on the Blues roster, that 40 to 60 game range, that's kind of that grind time where you're over the hump, but you're not quite or turning that corner where you see the light at the end of the tunnel where it's a playoff push. So this is the grind time, and you need personalities like Nathan Walker, and it's certainly great to see him back in the lineup.
Joey, one of the issues I think that this team has had is consistency. And so I want to know, what do you think is some of the issues that are causing this lack of consistency for this team?
Funny, I was talking to some Chicago broadcasters this morning, and it seems like 95% of the teams that I talk to about their struggles, outside of the Avalanche and the Stars and teams like that, Detroit Red Wings, a lot of teams have the same problem. It's just inconsistencies. And I think inconsistencies really are rooted in the fact that there are just no bad teams anymore. There's so much parity across the league. I had a chance to catch up with Connor Murphy, the Blackhawks defenseman, this morning. We chatted about the old days and more specifically about how, we were both on the Coyotes. When teams would come to Arizona, I mean, it was almost an automatic 2 points because we were just atrocious for a couple of years. Used to go to South Florida and against the Panthers, 10, 15 years ago, it was just, again, guaranteed 2 points. So it was, one thing was certain about, a decade ago was there was a ton of consistency because the good teams were consistently good and the bad teams were consistently bad. So, but now every team, with the salary cap and the way the NHL has evolved, there's just so much talent. And that's where I think the ups and the downs, I mean, before break, I checked the Eastern Conference. There wasn't a team below 500 on the Eastern Conference, which is incredible. It just shows you that they're just beating each other up back and forth. So the inconsistencies is something that's real. It's something that a lot of teams are dealing with. And I think that the biggest hump and the hurdle that this group can kind of get through to start rediscovering more consistency on a better basis, to me, it's your top guys going more consistently. That's to me where it's at. I mean, we're at game 44, and Justin Falk is your leading goal scorer. Justin Falk is your leading guy as far as shots on net. I mean, that in itself, if I just told you that, that's a problem, right? When you have players like Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou and Jimmy Snuggerud and Dylan Holloway. And again, there's been injuries, there's been bumps, there's been bruises. But at the same time, you're Justin Falk, your veteran defenseman over 1,000 games, is your leading goal scorer. So that tells me that if this team wants to find more consistency and they truly want to make that push, your top guys have got to start going on a more consistent basis. And I think that for Robert Thomas, as an example, I think his last two games were probably his best two games of the season, where he shut down the Eichel line against Vegas, you shut down the Suzuki line against Montreal, and you get that big goal on a penalty kill. Those types of moments, big moments from big players, if we can start finding some more consistency in that, Carey, we're going to start seeing some more wins piling up.
Joe Vitale joining us right now on the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Besides the injuries, of course, which has certainly impacted him, what's your take on Jimmy Snuggerud thus far, Joey? What are you seeing out of him?
I think to be fair, last year he comes in from the University of Minnesota, played 3 years there, almost won the national championship a couple times, was on an incredible line with Logan Cooley and Matthew Nyes, I think in his first or second year. He was a big man on campus, and he had the world was his, right? And I've been on those college campuses, and you just feel like you're untouchable. And you're playing 2 games a weekend, you're practicing all week, you're going to class, right? It's a very pushy life. And then he comes up, and he's just thrown into the first round versus the Winnipeg Jets, and he played incredible. He's going off pure adrenaline, pure emotion, pure excitement. He's in the NHL. He's in the biggest stage during what, by the way, is the most exciting 2 weeks of the NHL season, which is that first round. So I think that, all things considering, he opened up a ton of eyes. I think that the hurdle that he has faced in his first full season is real. I think it really should have been expected. This is a very young kid. He is not a seasoned veteran by any standards. When you come into this full season, NHL is a very different type of season than college. Instead of playing 35 games, you're playing 82 plus playoffs. You over double your workload. And not to mention, You're not playing at Niagara University with 1,600 guys in the stands. You're playing, of course, at the Ball Arena against Nathan McKinnon in front of 18,000 and millions more, hundreds of thousands watching, and then YouTube and all this other pressure too. So many more coaches, so much more pressure, and it never ends. With college, you play 2 games, you can kind of sit back, rest, recover. NHL, you play a game, you play hard, you get beat up, you get banged up, you think you can take 3-4 days off, and you just can't, because the next night you're playing again. It's a back-to-back. It just doesn't stop. And for young players, and Jamie, you remember this, it's just hard to catch your breath. It's really hard to catch your breath and get a reset. That's why these Christmas holidays, the Olympic breaks are really important for young players, where they can finally just sit back, collect themselves, collect their thoughts, and then continue to move forward. But I think that his first full season, this is very normal. The inconsistencies are there. It is right in front of you. It's hard to miss it. But I think that he's got the work ethic and the right attitude, the right people around him, that he is going to work through this first year, and he's going to continue to grow.
Joey, when you look at the stat sheet, a guy named Colton Parayko doesn't have a goal yet this year. I think he had, 16 last year?
Yeah.
What are you seeing in his game to where, what would be the reason that he doesn't have one yet?
Yeah, that is an alarming stat. I mean, such a awesome year offensively for him last year. I noticed 2 things that he did last year that he's not doing this year. The 2 big things that stand out is he's not really setting his feet as much in the offense zone to shoot the puck. And then the other thing, which is a very noticeable thing, which is something I know that this coaching staff is on him about, is him skating up the ice with the puck. I mean, he was so good at that last year, the one-man breakout, or he would get his legs going. He'd be trucking to the neutral zone. He would jump in the offense. He'd stay around the offense. I mean, he scored a few goals last year, Jamie, where he was at the doorstep on a rebound after a good rush chance. I mean, that's how aggressive he was offensively. And it just, to me, that's the biggest thing that I haven't seen this year, is him jumping up in the ice and joining the offense on the rush and then staying below the dots when they have full possession. Now, why? I've talked to Colton on a couple occasions over the last couple months. I think the biggest reason, not only for him, but Cam Fowler is another one. I think he only has 1 goal, and he had an incredible offensive year last year as well. I think this year you come in with a very young bottom 6, right? You come in with a Logan Mailloux and a Tyler Tucker and even Matthew Kessel. I mean, Matthew Kessel, he's, I think, 25 years old, but he's an inexperienced kid. So you have 3 very youthful, inexperienced guys back there. And what happens? Defensively, it was atrocious, right? So many goals going in. It was borderline embarrassing how bad they were defensively, and they needed to figure it out. So they pretty much grabbed all these D, and they said, the heck with scoring. We have got to remember what our most important job is, and that is defending. We have to get back to the drawing table and figure out what we have to do very well. So I think that this group, the offensive numbers outside of Justin Falk, have suffered so badly because of how bad they were this year to start the season, and they really had to re-identify with what they have to do if they're going to win games. The heck with offense. We got to defend. We got to figure out how to defend with the young group we got. We got to find different matchups because that's their bread and butter. So I think that that's what they did. The mindset shifted. They went from thinking offense to now making sure you keep that puck out of your net. And, Jamie, when you do that, as you know, on the back end there, the offense is going to slide a little bit, and that's what we're seeing.
Joe, great stuff. Looking forward to listening to you tonight on the Home of the Blues 101 ESPN. We'll chat with you again next week.
Sounds good, boys. You guys have a great week.
You too. Thanks. That's Joe Vitale here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Don't forget, puck drop at 8:30. We'll have the pregame right here on 101 ESPN starting at 7:30. We got Bet the Board next.
Circus Sports now available here in the state of Missouri. It's on the App Store, the Google Play Store. Get on there, punch in Circus Sports. It's going to give you a white logo. That is the one right there for the state of Missouri. Click on the white logo, and you are good to go. Again, it's the world's largest sports book that is right there in the palm of your hand. So many great things to bet on every night. You've got football, basketball, the ice hockey games, all that stuff. If I'm looking at money line plays for tonight on the Circus Sports app, I like the Capitals at -115 against the Dallas Stars. I also love the Montreal Canadiens at -148 over the Calgary Flames. Those are two that are available right there on the app. They've got the player props right there. There's a little parlay you can do as well. They've got great lines on all of their futures bets. Best odds of any app that's out there. Download another app, compare the odds. You'll see that Circus Sports has the best odds of any app that's out there. So please don't miss out on any of the action. Remember, download that Circus Sports app, the white logo, and join in on all the excitement. Must be 21 or older. For problems gambling, call the Problem Gamblers Helpline at 1-800-522-4700. It's the new year. Welcome to 2026, and you might be thinking about selling your home here in the St. Louis area. Maybe you're unsure about this time of year to list your home. Maybe you're unsure about the price, all of those things. Well, take the guessing out of it. Call Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. And I've talked to Gloria Lou about this time of year and listing your home. She said the one really good thing about listing your home this time of year is that there's low inventory right now. That puts the spotlight on your home. Her 24,000 buyers in waiting, that also puts the spotlight on your home. There's going to be a big percentage of those people that are going to look at your listing. And Gloria Lou, here's where she comes in. She's going to list your house for the best possible price, meaning you're going to make the most money and you'll sell quickly, and that's what you want to do. More money, sell quickly, get to that closing table, and it's pretty easy. All you have to do is give Gloria Lou a call. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number's 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. We just got done talking with Joe Vitale. If you missed that interview or if you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Blues and Blackhawks tonight. Pregame starts at 7:30. Puck drop is at 8:30. I'm Andrew Marsh. And this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Time to bet the board here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. How'd everybody do last night, Marsh?
None of us did well. I don't believe anybody hit last night.
Yeah, it was 1 second away.
Literally.
For those that did not see the Houston-Texas Tech final, well, Houston was up by 7. I took them on the alt line, -6.5. A player from Texas Tech with literally 1 second on the clock decides to shoot a half-court shot in which he drained.
Who knew?
So Houston won by 4, not the requisite 7 that we needed. So not great.
1 point for you, Anthony. 1 point for Jamie, and Carey and myself are still looking for our first point,
which will come tonight. I believe in you guys.
Thank you.
Jamie, before he had to take off, a little event he's got going on tonight, he has the Montreal Canadiens -148 on the money line. So that was his play. I'm going back to college basketball. I'm going back to the alt line. Give me Vanderbilt -2.5 at -149 to knock off Bama in a clash of top 25 teams in the SEC.
Ooh. I'm going Steph Curry. Got to hit at some point. Over 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
All right, so I'm changing it up tonight. Hate doing this, but the Blues have not recorded a shot on goal in the first 2 minutes of a game since December 27th when they took on the Nashville Predators. So the Blues to record a shot in the first 2 minutes of tonight's game. I'm going to go with no, and that is at -120.
I see what you're doing there. It's kind of the reverse.
Little reverse psychology.
If it happens,
sure,
it's wonderful. If it doesn't,
yeah, that's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah. Totally,
Marshy.
Yeah, hey, we see you.
Get 5 shots.
We see you.
Get a goal.
You big Blues fan, you.
Of course.
Yeah. All right, so that is Bet the Board. Got a couple of nuggets from around the NFL and/or college football. Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson earlier today declared for the 2026 NFL Draft. He was named Alabama starter for the 2025 season. Got Alabama to the playoffs. Beat Oklahoma on the road. Avenged that loss. And then finished third against Indiana in the matchup last week. His final college season, he completed 275 of 419 passes for 3,282 yards, 27 touchdowns, and only 4 picks. He also rushed 62 times for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns, earning a second-team All-SEC honor. I don't know if Ty Simpson's going to be an NFL quarterback.
It's so weird, right? Because going into this season, there were so many names. Drew Aller, Cade Klubnik, Lenora Sellers.
Yeah, none of them did well.
None of them. I know I'm missing a few. But there were names that you were looking at. Nussmeier, Garrett Nussmeier. He didn't even finish. He didn't even finish the season as a starter.
Yeah.
Like, all of those guys went into the season
You're right.
as the potential first quarterback taken. And Drew Aller got hurt. Cade Klubnik, he finished, but you wouldn't know it.
I watched Clemson and Penn State play when I was off. It was the Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing there.
You didn't see much, did you?
No.
And again, Nussmeier didn't even finish the season as a starter. So It's interesting. Ty Simpson kind of was in that conversation of potentially a first-round pick, but now we're at the point now where Mendoza, Dante Moore, both of the quarterbacks in Ohio State and Indiana are considered the top 2 picks. I couldn't tell you. I don't know where Ty Simpson gets drafted. I'm sure he will get drafted, but I don't know. It could be anywhere from the first round to the 7th round, and I think that's true for pretty much all of those guys at this point. Drew Aller may be able to slide back into the first round because I think the injury, you kind of assume that had he not gotten injured, okay. But Garrett Nussmeier, that was bad.
Yeah.
And Cade Klubnik, I didn't see much from him either. I didn't see much from him going into the season to start.
Yeah. No, you were right. You said it before the season. You didn't understand some of the hype, and some fans got on you.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Thank you.
A little nugget here, and someone in the Snake Pit chimed in, said this, so I looked it up. Obviously, we've been doing the show, but the Utah Mammoth will host the 2027 NHL Winter Classic at the University of Utah. So really cool stadium, cool backdrop. They'll take on the Avalanche.
Nice.
Next year in the Winter Classic. Did you watch this year's Winter Classic?
No, sir, I did not.
It didn't do it for me. I'll just leave it at that.
Not great.
I didn't like the venue. I didn't really like the game. I thought it just didn't hit the same. Didn't hit the same, Anthony.
Do you think it was mostly because of the venue?
Yes. Didn't feel like a Winter Classic.
It wasn't Fenway Park or Busch Stadium.
Or Wrigley Field, or literally any place outdoors.
Fair enough. One other thing, Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles said he will remain the team's head coach for 2026.
Oh, he's saying it.
I don't know if the front office agreed with it, but yeah. Per the Tampa Bay Times, Rick Stroud, who's been in Tampa forever, covering the Bucs. Bowles met with the Glazer family, which owns the team, on Tuesday. He met with his coaching staff on Wednesday and informed the Tampa Bay Times that, quote, there will be some changes to the coaching staff, but the Glazer family reportedly took the offensive line's myriad of injuries into account before they made their decision. While no information was shared about the potential coaching staff changes, Stroud did note that the offense did not produce under first-year coordinator Josh Grizzard. So stay tuned on that. But it looks like Todd Bowles will remain in Tampa. All right. When we return, we'll wrap up the show next on 101 ESPN. All right, let's get into some underdog picks right now. Let's not waste any time. I keep talking about Travis Etienne having a great matchup against Buffalo. So if you go to underdog right now, if you like the matchup as much as I do with Travis Etienne against the Bills, let's go higher than 64.5 rush yards for Travis Etienne. In that same game, and by the way, you do not have to do the same game stuff when it comes to underdog. You can take two players from that game and then combine those entries with another game if you want, but I'm going to stick with that game for these purposes. I don't think James Cook is going to have a big game, but instead of going lower than the 80.5 rush yards that the underdog has as his number, why don't we go higher than 233.5 passing yards with Josh Allen? You can maybe mix in, if you like the rushing yards number for Allen a little bit more, you can do higher than 36.5 rush yards, or heck, you could do the 22 higher than 22 and 22.65 fantasy points with Josh Allen. However you want to play your entries, it's completely up to you, but you get the idea. Just choose whether or not certain players will go higher or lower. When you're playing an underdog, it's super easy. If you get your entries right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash, and the underdog is giving you a gimme pick as well for wild card weekend on any quarterback this week. So it's just a gimme pick. You can add it to your entries, and it can pay off if you hit all your entries right. So what are you waiting for? Download Download that app today. Use my promo code Anthony to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, that promo code is Anthony at Underdog, where you can make plays and win money. Must be 18 or older and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.inspeedgambling.org. Before we sign off, the Fast Lane, hey, that's us. We have your shot right now to score a pair of tickets to this year's Cardinals Care Winter Warm-Up taking place next Saturday, January 17th, and Sunday, January 18th, at Busch Stadium in Ballpark Village. Winter Warm-Up tickets are now on sale. Gives fans access to clubhouse tours, special presentations, autograph stations, activities for kids, and more, all to support Cardinals Care. You can find all the details on this year's Cardinals Care Winter Warm-Up at cardinals.com/WWU. Here's your trivia question today. Who do the Cardinals open up against? What team? What opponent? We'll keep it simple. If you have the correct answer and you're the 101st texter to the Air Comfort Service text line, that's 314-399-9646. You'll have an opportunity to go for free to the Cardinals Winter Warm-Up. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com and the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts brought to you by Shave Door Company. Marcy, why don't you go ahead and just hit us with those 3 stars, would you?
You want the 3 stars?
I want those 3 stars, baby.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day, presented by Circus Sports. No bet fees ever with the world's largest sports book, now at your fingertips in Illinois and Missouri.
All right, our 3rd star of the day goes out to Carey Davis, the Ghost Writer.
Yeah. You did a great job on that NFL article saying that John Harbaugh should go to Cleveland.
Yeah, smart people, intelligent people think alike.
Mm-hmm.
2nd star of the day goes out to
crazy.
Something that Carey Davis just absolutely loves. Absolutely loves playing with his friends. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
good stuff
know
there.
that answer at all.
Mm-hmm. That was tough. I wouldn't have known that one either.
That's interesting.
The book of vile danger,
dark
evil,
veil,
black
evil,
danger. Yeah, I don't know.
Black evil, dark evil,
right? Dark evil. That's what it was.
Dark
evil.
Vecna's dark evil.
Yes,
scary stuff, man.
Some think that he's still alive. By the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, don't give any spoils away there.
Maybe. Who knows? 1st star of the day, Flex Seal.
Yeah,
you gotta have it.
Gotta have it.
Gotta plug those holes. It works. Well, that's what the commercial said at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's telling me it works. So you should probably try it out.
Okay.
Why are you up? Why are you doing that late?
That'd be great. Yeah, that's fine.
See, that's when you buy things. That's when you test things out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
Those infomercials.
We got a compliment today from 618. What? Can I just say today at work sucked, and I had a lot of mind-numbing meetings with boring conversations. Getting in my truck, leaving the office, and turning you guys on is probably the best part of my day.
Whoa.
You guys crack me up. I love listening. My goodness. Keep it up and keep making us laugh.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you. One of the best compliments we have ever gotten. Marsh is so choked up reading it, he couldn't get through it. Yeah. Which happens a lot here in the Fast Lane. Reading's hard.
Optional.
What did we collectively learn today?
I think we collectively learned that none of us know what the hell's going to happen in the NFL wildcard weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's anybody. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows
the trouble I see.
Who's that?
Hell if I know.
Yeah, I don't know either. No chance.
I'd just be making up a name.
No chance on that.
Fred Astaire.
All right, for Jamie Rivers, sure. For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Don't forget, we got Blues pregame tonight at 7:30. We'll be back tomorrow, too. See you.